Naruto Cultivating in the Hidden Sands Village with Pokémon. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 126 Diamond Princess, Diancie. Luo Sha took a deep breath. This little diamond was the Pokemon with the highest individual value he had ever encountered in the wild. Only after he looked at the panel did he realize that this little diamond was the dominant Pokemon in the habitat. Diamondback's size is only the usual 0.3 meters. If it weren't for its high level 66, Luo Sha would not have thought that it was the dominant Pokemon. Yikang felt the diamond was struggling to break free from her arms, so she let go and put diamond on the ground. After the little diamond was free, it jumped to Luo Sha's side. Drill. The little diamond opened its bright blue eyes and stared at the gray stone in Luo Sha's hand with a look of desire. Do you want this, Luo? Sha squatted down and handed the gray stone to Little Diamond. Little Diamond rubbed Luo Sha's hand gratefully, and couldn't wait to put the gray stone in his mouth, smacking his lips non-stop. Diamond tried to eat the gray stone, but unfortunately its mouth was too small and it could only hold it in its mouth. He couldn't swallow the small diamonds at all, and one of them was petrified on the spot. He began to ponder and think hard about countermeasures. The little diamond turned around 3 times on the spot, and suddenly a big light bulb lit up in his head. The little diamond jumped onto the altar with a gray stone in its mouth, stuck the diamond at the bottom of the altar in the groove in the middle of the altar, closed its eyes and did not move. The gray stone in its mouth suddenly began to flash with dazzling light, and then the entire altar was lit up, emitting a dazzling light, and below the altar, the Grail mineral vein buried deep underground began to burst out with intense chakra energy as if it had received some kind of call. The huge amount of energy continuously flowed along the channel of the altar and gathered on the small diamond. The small diamonds were bathed in light, their aura growing higher and higher, and the diamonds on them were also shining with blue light. Sparkling brightly with a continuous injection of energy, the body of the small diamonds gradually becomes transparent, and the internal structure is clearly visible, like a flawless gem. Emitting charming brilliance, the originally deep blue light was gradually replaced by a touch of delicate and tempting pink. The small diamonds gradually condensed into a round sphere under the embrace of this pink energy. The sphere continues to expand and grow, like a rising sun, full of endless vitality and vigor. When the sphere stopped expanding, the surrounding energy began to converge inward, the altar stopped working, and the silhouette of small diamonds slowly appeared. However, small diamonds have changed a lot. The once ordinary little diamond has now been transformed into the legendary Diancie. Name: Diancie. Gender: none. Attribute: rock. Diamond characteristics: eternally pure. Body level: LV 81. Early super shadow. Clergy: diamond, 15%. Individual: 6 vote. Skills: diamond storm, sage mode, power gem, rock slide, rock grinding, light wall, primal force, diamond authority 1. For every 100 small diamonds in the Diamond Kingdom, Diancie's strength increases by 1%. The upper limit is 200%. Point 2. Able to protect your traveling companions from disaster and disease. 3. Able to create diamonds out of thin air. Dubbed the Princess of the Diamond Kingdom, Diancie wears a headdress made of pink crystals with crystals pointing downward on either side, and a diamond-cut centerpiece held by 2 elongated gray ears. Its eyes are pink with red irises, and a golden crescent moon surrounds its neck, with a rhombus-shaped gem attached to the end. The lower body is like a large oval stone with pink crystals protruding from it. Thank you, benefactor. Under the shocked eyes of the 4 people, Diancie came in front of Luo Sha, lifted the hem of her skirt with both hands, and saluted Luo Sha gracefully. Beautiful and elegant. This Pokemon can talk. Yi Kang covered her mouth in shock. She knew that psychic-type Pokemon could communicate mentally, but Diancie was actually speaking human language. This is the first elf that Yukira knows that can speak. So beautiful. Karula stared at Diancie's headdress in fascination. It had a huge pink diamond. Diancie, just call me Luo Sha. May I ask, can the gray stone help the little diamond mutate? Luo Sha asked the doubts in his heart. He felt that Diancie's previous behavior was too purposeful, as if she knew that the gray stone could help it mutate. Yes, as long as the talent is sufficient, the little diamond can mutate into Diancie through the energy here, but there can only be one Diancie in a Diamond Kingdom. Diancie's voice is like that of a lively girl, ethereal and pleasant. That is to say, It is impossible for a second dynasty to be born here. If I build a diamond kingdom somewhere else, will it be possible for a second dynasty to appear? Luo Sha seemed to understand. There would only be one princess born in a diamond kingdom, so what about two diamond kingdoms? It is theoretically possible, but without a mutated energy source, dynasty cannot be born. Moreover, there is competition between the diamond kingdoms. Once the two sides meet, one of them will inevitably be swallowed up. The small diamonds will only recognize one dynasty. There can only be one diamond kingdom in this world, and there can only be one dynasty. Dynasty was silent for a while before she began to explain. What? If I created a dynasty out of thin air, dynasty cannot survive independently without the diamond kingdom. Rosa, do you want to create a second dynasty? Dynasty grabbed Luo Sha's clothes and asked with some resentment, how could that be? I'm just asking out of curiosity. Luo Sha curled the corners of his mouth. It seemed that dynasty was a unique mythical Pokemon. The priesthood is bound to the Diamond Kingdom, which is the foundation of dynasty's existence. Private setting, dynasty, the defense of this place is left to you. I will send ninjas to mine the Greyer Stone later, no problem. From now on, this will be Little Diamond's home and my kingdom's territory. Dynasty raised her eyebrows confidently, quite like a queen. Well, there is one more thing I may need to trouble you with. You can create diamonds, right? Luo Sha rubbed his hands together, his tone full of uncontrollable excitement. This one dynasty raised her hands up, creating a string of pink diamonds. Yes, yes, can we exchange supplies? I will give the little diamonds the supplies they need for life, such as medicine and elf cubes, and you only need to pay me with diamonds. Luo Sha nodded like a chick pecking at rice. This is another way to get rich. Yukang and Karula's eyes widened, and Luo Sha's eyes had turned into symbols of money. Although there are few rich people in the ninja world, it is also a huge market. As long as the marketing is good, why worry about ladies not placing orders? Isn't this unfair to you? I can make a bunch of these diamonds anytime. Won't you lose money? Dynasty frowned. She had no idea of the worldly value of diamonds. No, we have made a happy decision. Luo Sha was afraid that Dynasty would go back on her word, so she made the decision directly. Chapter 127 Diamond Kingdom. The appearance of Dynasty was a complete surprise. Luo Sha did not expect that he would suddenly have his first mythical Pokemon. And it is a mythical Pokemon with super shadow level strength. Dynasty is a rock and fairy type Pokemon. Whether in terms of attributes or the economic benefits it brings to Rosa, it is one of the Pokemon that Rosa most desires to obtain. Seeing that Karula and Yukira were very obsessed with diamonds, Dynasty gave them a bunch of pink diamonds as a gift. The two girls immediately pulled Zongia to process the diamond. Zongia didn't expect that magnetic escape could be used in this way. Galila transformed herself into a jewelry designer, freely sketching out necklace patterns on paper. In the end, Zongia reluctantly used the magnetic escape technique and carefully cut the diamonds into various styles, creating more than 10 pink diamond necklaces. One of the styles was the symbol of Sunagakure, and the two women wore directly around their necks. Luo Sha looked at the three people who were playing funny tricks and already had a plan in mind. He decided to establish Sunagakure's first jewelry company, called Dynasty Jewelry Company. He holds a 50% stake and Dynasty holds a 50% stake, but he will directly distribute Dynasty's profits to her in the form of materials. Silver was useless to Dynasty, so he could only help Dynasty solve the problem with tears in his eyes. The plan is to decide on all the employees of the company. Karula will be a jewelry designer, Xiao Ai will be a jewelry processor, and Yukang will be the jewelry spokesperson. These three people are free labor. It would be a waste if we don't use them. In other words, Dynasty Jewelry is a zero-cost company. This is also the first private elf company established by Luo Sha, and he keeps all the profits. The Fire Camel Transport Company and the Messenger Bird Postal Express Company, established previously, were both village-owned companies. As the representative of the elves, Luo Sha took half of the profits. The Dynasty Jewelry Company might make more money than the three villages' companies combined. Luo Sha wiped the non-existent saliva from the corner of his mouth. He was going to make a fortune. The four did not return to the Sands village immediately. but stayed in the Diamond Kingdom for 3 days. The Diamond Kingdom encompasses this ancient ruins, and today there are more than 1,500 small diamonds living here. Diancie has a very simple personality and is unusually affectionate towards Luo Sha. Diancie introduced the Diamond Kingdom in detail. Among the 1,500 small diamonds, there are now 2 elite Jonin level, 15 Jonin level, and 150 special Jonin level. Diamondbacks are not regular Pokemon. They have no gender and cannot give birth to offspring. They are born in a high-temperature and high-pressure environment deep underground, and have extremely strict requirements for their birth environment. This is why, although Diamondback is a blue Pokemon, thousands of them can be born in a purple habitat. Because of the Diamond Kingdom, Diancie has now gained a 15% increase in strength through 3 days of observation. Luo Sha discovered that among the small diamonds in the Diamond Kingdom, 2 of them reached an individual value of 2 volt. They have the potential to enter Sage Mode, 2 elite Jonin level small diamonds, with 2 volt potential, and a small chance of activating Sage Mode. After the elf activates the Sage Mode, it can sign a psychic contract with a ninja. After Luo Sha's detailed understanding of the Diamond Kingdom, the Holy Land of Elves in his mind has already taken shape. The Diamond Kingdom is a hidden place with plenty of small diamonds, high potential, and a powerful Diancie. The Diamond Kingdom is perfect for being transformed into a Holy Land for Elves. Diancie is the Great Diamond Sage, and the 2 small diamonds that have activated Sage Mode are the White Diamond Sage and the Blue Diamond Sage. The immortal technique Diamond Storm is the Holy Land's signature ninjutsu. The Diamond Kingdom will become the 4th Holy Land of the ninja world. The more Luo Sha thought about it, the more he felt it was feasible, but the Diamond Kingdom could not help the ninja activate the Sage Mode. It looks like Orochimaru will have another research task. Whenever you are in doubt, look for Orochimaru. After all, Uncle Snake will never let you down. In the original work, Orochimaru was unable to learn Ryuchidao's Sage Mode, but he was able to create the curse seal by studying Jugo and combining it with Ryuchidao's Senjutsu. Luo Sha also has a second plan, which is to directly find the 3 holy places and ask them to hand over the technology that can help ninjas become immortals. Diancie plus Mutuo will definitely be able to defeat the 3 holy places. Mutuo possesses the combat power of the 6 paths level. It looks like I have to find an opportunity to visit the 3 holy places. Luo Sha withdrew his thoughts and continued to accompany Diancie to wander around the Diamond Kingdom. Since he decided to turn this place into a holy land for the elves, Luo Sha named this purple habitat the Diamond Kingdom. Luo Sha also handed over the area on the Rocky Mountain to Diancie to rule. 3 days passed quickly. Before leaving, Luo Sha put Diancie into the Pokeball and lit up a new achievement. New achievement, Diamond Princess. The host successfully conquered Diancie. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 Diancie Mega Evolution Stone. Unsurprisingly, the reward is a Mega Evolution Stone, but what Luo Sha didn't expect was that after Diancie put on the Evolution Stone, the Evolution Stone immediately flashed. He and Diancie have only known each other for 3 days, yet he has already Mega Evolved. Diancie showed a look of surprise, and Luo Sha and Diancie looked at each other and felt something. Diancie glows white and evolves into Mega Diancie. Mega Diancie seemed to be wearing a wedding dress, her whole body bathed in light, so dazzling that it was impossible to look directly at it. This is a Pokemon even more charming than Minlog. Rosa, our bond can Mega Evolve. Diancie's sweet voice rang out, and she jumped into Luo Sha's arms with joy. When Karula saw this scene, he was petrified. She has to guard against fire, theft and besties. Does she have to guard against elves in the future? Thinking of Gardevoir in Rosa's house, Karula shook his head vigorously, trying to get rid of these strange thoughts. Diancie, this is the Pokemon Encyclopedia. You can always video call me, Luo. Sha was a little reluctant and handed a Pokemon illustrated book to Diancie. If the Pokédex runs out of power, you can give it to the Sand Ninja stationed here, and he will help you charge it, Luo. Sha has already figured out Diancie's character. Diancie is just a simple little princess. Fortunately, the chief elder of the Diamond Kingdom is an experienced little diamond who can help Diancie manage the Diamond Kingdom. Luo Sha, can you stay a little longer? After listening to Luo Sha's words, Diancie's heart was filled with reluctance and sadness. His eyes gradually became moist and tears began to well up in the corners of his eyes. You can also go back to the Sand Village with me and live there for a while. If you want to return to the Diamond Kingdom at that time, you can let Mutuo take you back, Luo Sha said sincerely. Is this so? After hearing this, Diancie was somewhat tempted, but still found it difficult to give up the Diamond Kingdom. It turned around and began to communicate with a great elder in Elvish. After a heated discussion, the two elves finally reached a consensus. Dynasty decided to follow Luo Sha for a while and go to the Sand Village. Finally, the group left the Diamond Kingdom. The great elder looked at Dynasty's receding back with tears in his eyes, turned around desolately, and continued to go to work. Chapter 128 Train, Newspaper Dispute. After Luo Sha returned to the Sand Village, he summoned trainers with superpowers in exchange for A-level missions, and they went to the mines to mine for the Greystone. The power source of the train has been solved, and the final gap is newly funding. Although Sunagakure has spare money, the Wind Country is so vast that the cost of building a railway is too high, especially in the annexed Fire Nation territory. The 8 provinces are densely populated and there is an absolute need to open a train. Finally, Shagu wrote a letter to inform the daimyo of the situation. 2 days later, a messenger bird flew into the palace of the Kingdom of Winds and found the daimyo were these. When the daimyo of the Kingdom of Winds saw the badge on the messenger bird, he hurriedly opened the letter to check. Building a railway in the Wind Country will improve the transportation environment of our Wind Country. As a great man, I have no choice but to do so. The daimyo put down the letter and immediately ordered funds to build a railway. This is a good thing that benefits the country and the people. Besides, the Sand Village has already sent the letter, so he has no right to refuse. Today, the Kingdom of Wind has 17 main towns, including 8 major cities, 8 provincial capitals, and the capital of Wind. The construction of the railway is divided into 2 sections. The first section starts from the west of Sand Village. The railway station is located in the middle of the 5 major scenic spots and is called Sand Village Station. This railway leads to Takawa Castle, then connects to the 8 major towns, and finally meets the Wind capital. The city of Wind is located in the center of the 8 major cities, making it very suitable to become a core transportation hub. Moreover, when the daimyo provides the funding, he will naturally give priority to the transportation conditions in the capital. After this section of railway is completed, construction of the second section of railway will begin. The second section of the railway covers 8 provinces, runs through 8 provincial capitals, and takes Yanmo City as the core transportation hub. Yanmo City will also open railways with the 8 major cities to completely connect the 8 provinces with the 8 cities of the Kingdom of Wind. The construction craftsman company took over the task of building the railway. The workers and the construction craftsmen cooperated with each other, and the efficiency was extremely high. After the railway construction was arranged, Luo Sha began to prepare for the Dynasty Jewelry Company. After Dynasty arrived at the Sand Village, Luo Sha arranged identification for it. A poster of Luo Sha and Dynasty was posted in the Elf Hall, and Dynasty became the 9th elf in the Elf Hall. The Diamond God Dynasty. Dynasty is the 3rd being in the Elf Hall to be named God, and is located after Rayquaza. In the poster, the appearance of Dynasty instantly caused a wave, and its beauty and power made the ninjas were deeply impressed, especially the female ninjas. They spontaneously supported Dynasty. No one could resist a sparkling diamond. The first jewelry store was naturally opened in the Sand Village. The Dynasty Jewelry Store covers a large area and has 8 stores, which is equivalent to a small street. This street used to be the bathing street of Sand Village. Since the bathing industry moved to the small forest, the whole street has been vacant. Luo Sha took the opportunity to purchase this place, and then asked the construction craftsman to build a luxurious building here. When selling jewelry, what you want is style. Luo Sha has given a very high positioning to Dynasty Jewelry Company. He plans to build a monopoly enterprise that will occupy at least 50% of the jewelry industry's share. Behind the Dynasty Jewelry Company is a certain Luo, and the diamonds provided by Dynasty are of excellent quality. In comparison, other jewelers cannot compete with him at all. In order to make the jewelry company famous, Luo Sha launched the slogan of 50% off during the opening 3 days, and each person could only use the discount once. Anyway, diamonds have 0 cost, so Luo Sha will make money no matter how he sells them. The Sunagakure Daily received a notice from Luo Sha and put the news of the jewelry store's 50% off opening on the headlines, attracting the attention of all the villagers in Sunagakure. Luo Sha also used the Elf Encyclopedia to contact Jinduaruo and assign tasks to the messenger birds of the Postal Express Company. The next day, the people of the entire Wind Kingdom were shocked. The messenger birds stopped delivering express and letters and started selling newspapers instead. The number of messenger birds is enough to sell newspapers to the Kingdom of Wind and surrounding small countries. After being advised by Luo Sha, the Sand Village Newspaper Company tasted the benefits and negotiated with the Messenger Bird Postal Express Company in the hope of renting a messenger bird. Jin Duodo refused outright. He was a businessman and the minister of the Sunagakure Commerce Department. Would he give up the profitable business to others? Jin Duodo immediately established a tomato newspaper, which was affiliated with the Ministry of Commerce and became a village newspaper. The messenger birds suddenly discovered that their staffing positions had suddenly increased. The messenger birds working in the Postal Express Company called their friends and recruited a group of messenger birds to join the tomato newspaper. The opening of the tomato newspaper has greatly stimulated the Sand Village newspaper. Since ancient times, the Sand Village newspaper has been the only newspaper in the village and is an official newspaper. The Sunagakure newspaper began to write to the administrative department, accusing Jin Duodo of bad behavior. When Caltex received the complaint, he was quite troubled. He and Jin Duodo were ministers of the same level, and he had no power to resolve the matter, so Caltex reported the matter to Shagu. Shagu finally made the decision, and the Sand Village newspaper and the tomato newspaper jointly became the official newspapers of Sand Village. Relying on its long accumulated reputation, the sales of Sand Village are as stable as a rock, which is simply incomparable to the tomato newspaper. However, the tomato newspaper's revenue far exceeds that of the Sunagakure newspaper. With the help of the messenger bird, the tomato newspaper company expanded its business outside the village, and the entire Wind Kingdom became the tomato newspaper company's market. In order to develop tomato newspaper, Jin Duodo also discovered a talent, Morgans. Morgans took over as the president of tomato newspaper and made the company flourish. Morgans self is a messenger bird. This messenger bird has received the true teachings of Morgans and is a pyramid scheme genius who scare other messenger birds around. The messenger bird relies on its beak to become the recognized leader of the tribe, and it can even command wild messenger birds. The Sunagakure newspaper company wanted to capture messenger birds in the wild, but was stopped by Morgans every time. Morgans could either send someone to secretly put laxatives in the cafeteria of the Sand Village newspaper, or hire a group of stinky muds who live in public toilets to block the door, or equip the wild messenger birds in the bird kingdom with poison gas bombs. In short, the Sunagakure newspaper company has not been able to capture the messenger bird and has been unable to conduct business outside the village. The Sunagakure newspaper company's defense was breached, so it began to criticize Morgans in the newspaper. Morgans was not someone to be trifled with either, and he immediately launched a counterattack. The two newspapers started a commercial war, opening a section in their newspapers specifically to discredit each other. For example, the headline of today's Tomato Morning Post is shocking. The president of Sunagakure newspaper is having an affair with a sow, and the Sunagakure Morning Post had a big headline that read, "The secret story of Morgans selling chrysanthemums to get to the top." Nami was shocked when she saw the news, so she reposted the two articles to the Begonia literary newspaper, causing the people of River Country to also know about the scandal of the two Sunagakure newspaper presidents. Eventually, the news spread more and more widely, until everyone in the ninja world knew about it. The Begonia literary news became famous in the ninja world and was promoted from a River Country newspaper to a world-class newspaper. There are all kinds of articles in Hidang literary newspaper, especially two serialized novels that have been very popular recently. One is a human-animal story called Postpartum Care of Souse, and the other is a pure love story called Battle to Protect Chrysanthemums. It is said that the author of these two novels is the same person, who has written 3 pornographic books, all of which were sold out. No one expected that the fierce competition between the two newspapers in Sunagakure would eventually lead to the establishment of Hidang literary newspaper. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 129 Jewelry Company, Elf School. The Dianxi Jewelry Company became a hot seller as soon as it opened. Galula is very dedicated to the jewelry company and has now designed hundreds of styles of necklaces and rings. Xiao Ai was unable to handle the work by himself, and with dark circles under his eyes, he tearfully complained about Luo Sha's endless overtime work. Luo Sha didn't expect that Xiao Ai would be unable to hold on so soon, so he recruited more people to free Xiao Ai. Rosa intends to let Xiao Ai carve diamonds, which can strengthen Xiao Ai's control over chakra and is a kind of training for Xiao Ai. After becoming the Seven Tails Jinchuuriki, Xiao Ai became obsessed with heavy weaponry and did not practice the fine control of chakra at all through this period of diamond carving. Zongaia's shortcomings were made up. Now that the effect has been achieved, Luo Sha will no longer exploit Xiao Ai. Yukang became famous as a jewelry spokesperson, and the name of the Scorch release user spread throughout the ninja world in a strange way. Luo Sha even pulled Xiao out and asked Xiao to endorse a set of crowns, necklaces, bracelets and rings. Xiao has the title of #1 female ninja and is a veteran cage-level warrior who is far more famous than Yukang. Even though Xiao is nearly 50 years old, she can't resist the charm of this set of pink diamond jewelry as long as she endorses the brand. Luo Sha will give her this set of pink diamond jewelry. What are you hesitating about? Go for it. Xiao happily put on a pink cool outfit and put on this set of pink diamond jewelry. Xiao in pink dazzled King Slowpoke. Xiao went out very professionally and walked around the sand village, showing off her pink diamonds, which attracted everyone's attention. King Slow followed Xiao closely to prevent any ignorant ninja from coming up to chat with her. All the sand village ninjas were stunned. Is this Elder Xiao? Not sure, try again. As a result, they all received a death stare from Slow King. King Die. Just take a look, why are you still looking? Especially you, your eyes are almost fixed on Xiao. Xiao is mine, I swear to protect the best Xiao until my death. Xiao successfully made the headlines of the Sand Village Daily and Tomato Daily. Many Sand Village ninjas not only recalled that Xiao was once the village beauty of the Sand Village back then, the first Kazekage Rito was fascinated by Xiao and launched a vigorous pursuit of her. Although Rito is already old, he still refuses to admit his age and goes to Xiao in person to ask for her hand in marriage. Xiao's father refused to agree no matter what. How could he want his daughter to marry an old man? According to their age, he has to call Rito brother, but Xiao herself is willing to marry Rito. Xiao is a person who admires the strong. Her talent and strength are extremely outstanding, and she is definitely the best among her peers in the Sand Village at that time. There was no one worthy of her. Rito is a handsome uncle and a hero of the Sand Village. Xiao grew up listening to Rito's stories. Marrying a hero immediately hit Xiao's XP. When Xiao and Rito got married, countless young men in Sunagakure were heartbroken. Their goddess married an old man. Because of this marriage, Rito's reputation plummeted. After the second generation Kazekage came to power, Rito completely became a thing of the past. After many years, Xiao wore the delicate pink dress again, and her graceful figure made many middle-aged ninjas burst into tears. Luo Sha priced the suit endorsed by Xiao at 100 million taels, focusing on the concept of brand premium. Luo Sha personally took charge of the project, and with the assistance of Nami, they wrote an article titled The Royal Pearl, with a photo of Xiao attached. The Royal Pearl was the headline of the new issue of Haidang newspaper, sparking heated discussions in the ninja world. The power of this marketing campaign was extremely strong. The daimyo's wife from the Wind Country took the lead in purchasing, which triggered a chain reaction, and the daimyo's wives from various countries followed suit. Whoever doesn't buy will be embarrassed. Even those small countries and big names gritted their teeth and paid. Luo Sha earned a net income of 25 billion taels from this product. It turns out that you can only make money if you have zero cost. Relying on its strong marketing and excellent quality, Diancie Jewelry Company has become a favorite of the nobles, and many nobles come to Sunagakure specifically to buy its products. The jewelry company brought Luo Sha a net income of 10 billion taels in 1 month. With the contributions of the wives of the daimyo of 25 countries, Luo Sha's income reached 35 billion taels. The days passed one by one, and soon it was June of the 32nd year of Sunagakure. Nagato, Yohiko, Konan, and Kaki enrolled in the Ninja Academy. Ninja schools have elf studies as one of the compulsory courses for ninjas. Therefore, every ninja becomes a trainer. This year, 600 students were enrolled in the Sunagakure Ninja School, divided into 12 classes with 50 students in each class. Among them, there are 500 students from the Sand Village, and 100 places are allocated to the Torii Village, the River God Sect, the Star Village, and the Rain Village. Nagato and his 4 companions were admitted to Class 1 without taking an exam. There was no need to say much about their talent. Scorpio is 4 years old this year and is not yet old enough to go to school. However, seeing that his 4 older brothers and sisters all went to school, Scorpion didn't want to stay at home alone, so he also asked to enroll. Xiao and Seigo both refused, and Sasori could only count on Rasa. Scorpion pesters Luo Sha every day and acts coquettishly and cutely, but Luo Sha can't stand this. Son, do you know that acting cute is shameful? The closer it gets to the start of school, the more anxious Scorpio becomes. Luo Sha finally relented and agreed to let Z enroll in school in May. With Luo Sha as a guarantor, The matter was quickly settled, and Z became the first student in the first grade, 51, class. Luo was promoted to the third grade, while Sarah skipped a grade to the third grade. Sarah has average ninja talent, but is extremely talented as a trainer. In 3 years, Sarah's Chimananthus has evolved into Geranium and its strength has reached LV39. Sarah was very diligent and scored almost full marks in the written test. At Luo Sha's instruction, she skipped to the third grade and studied in the third grade, 1, class with Luo. Sarah and Z are Luo Shading's team. Physical ninja, medical ninja, and puppeteer are a perfect combination. In addition to the ninja school, Sunagakure also established a second school, the Spirit School. This year the elf school is specifically for ordinary people to study, and currently has 2 majors, combat and medical. After 6 years of studying in the combat department, graduates who pass the assessment can obtain a trainer qualification certificate and a high-quality initial Pokémon. The 3 best graduates each year can obtain purple quality elves. Graduates of the medical department are directly sent to various Pokémon centers as attending physicians, and they will receive a similar doll. The 3 best graduates received a small lucky egg as an elf. This year, the ninja school has 601 students enrolled, and the number of students in the elf school is twice that of the ninja school, reaching 1,200. This is the result after more than 100,000 people were eliminated. Now, as long as the people of the Wind Kingdom own a Pokémon, they can go to the Pokémon Center to be certified as a trainer with a force of ordinary people. The elves that can be subdued are nothing more than green caterpillars, unicorn beetles, and thorntail beetles. Therefore, 99% of certified trainers are insect catchers. If you want to obtain high-quality elves, you need to issue tasks to the ninjas and ask them for help. However, if the Pokémon is not captured by the trainer himself, it is easy for the Pokémon to disobey orders or even defect. This results in high-quality elves being extremely scarce. Now, if you enroll in the Sand Hidden Elf School, you will be able to get an excellent elf upon graduation. Not only the Kingdom of Wind, but also nobles and wealthy businessmen from other countries all sent their children to the elf school in Sunagakure. No matter how rich they are, they can still be easily killed by ninjas. Especially as the number of trainers increases, their safety is even less guaranteed. Only by mastering the power of force can their position be secure. With over 1,200 applicants, the elf school only admitted people. The admission rate is less than 1%. Chapter 130 River and Sea Elf School, 2 Red Habitats. There are only 3 elf schools in the ninja world now, located in Sand Village, Torigakure and Hoshigakure. The Torigakure Elf School and the Star Hidden Elf School are also very popular in terms of enrollment, and other ninja villages can only shed tears of envy. As the Pope of the River God cult, Nami saw the popularity of the elf school and hurried back to the River Kingdom to prepare for the establishment of the school. Nami plans to build a water elf school in the town closest to the river and sea habitat. Thanks to its geographical location, Hyperion City fortunately came into Nami's sight. Under Nami's instruction, the daimyo of the River Kingdom, Kuriaki, and the River God cult worked together to concentrate all resources on Hyperion City. Heibo City was renamed Heihei City, and an elf school exclusive to the River Kingdom was established. The Heihei Elf School. Some missionaries of the River God cult transferred to the River and Sea Elf School as teachers, which made the River and Sea Elf School famous. The school emblem of the River and Sea Elf School depicts a woman Aminus, representing the goddess of the river. The River and Sea Elf School was completed in 3 months and started recruiting students in September. The first batch of students is expected to enroll in January next year. Because of the high status of the River God cult in the River Kingdom, all children of appropriate age in the River Kingdom signed up. Anoki also wanted to establish a spirit school in Iwagakure, but unfortunately he did not have enough teachers and the first batch of students had not yet returned from the Sand Village. It will take at least 3 years for Iwagakure to build a spirit school. The reason why the Toringi village and the Hoshigakure village were able to establish the elf school so quickly was because they received support from the Sand Village. The ninjas of the 2 villages are essentially Sagakure ninjas. Just with the outer skin of Torigakure and Hoshigakure, it took 3 years to build a school in Iwagakure village, and the time for other ninja villages was even longer. The Hidden Mist village was also envious and sent 200 ninjas to the Hidden Sand village for further training and to cultivate talents in the elf industry. Gaddix was busy again, arranging the Kurigakure ninjas and the Iwagakure ninjas to study together. As for Konoha village and Kumagakure village, Sand Village simply ignored the requests of the 2 villages. Since Sunagakure intends to annex the Land of Fire in the future, Konoha will naturally be disbanded then. Konoha only needs to continue to weaken, and Sand Village will not give Konoha any chance to become stronger. As for Union, Xiao Ai persisted and sent call requests to Shagu every day, but all the calls were rejected by Shagu. Even with Irabi's advice, Xiao Ai couldn't control his temper and chose to go into Cold War with Tsunagakure. If he doesn't want to form an alliance, then he won't form an alliance. Without Sand Village, will Kumagakure not be able to survive? It wasn't until the Sand Village Elf School became popular that old Ai regained his senses and realized that if Cloud Village didn't introduce more elves, they would not be able to defeat even Rock Village. Union will be eliminated by the times. Xiao Ai started requesting a daily call again, but Shagu continued to refuse. The Sand Village is too busy now. The land in 8 provinces is under construction in full swing, and the opening of the railway is also a huge project. The Sand Village has no time to help the Cloud Village. What's more, the Rain Country is waiting in line for Sand Village to develop. Time flies and it is October of the 32nd year of Sand Village. Dynasty has stayed in the Sand Village for 3 months and has returned to the Diamond Kingdom. Dynasty and Jialuo became good friends who could talk about anything. They shared a common love and pursuit for jewelry, and would spend every day together discussing how to design new and unique products. After Dynasty returned to the Diamond Kingdom, she video called Karula more frequently than Rosa. As for Luo Sha, he just lies down and collects money every day. After a year, Jin Duoduo finally sold all the antiques, and Luo Sha received a huge sum of 70 billion taels. In March, Luo Sha still had a balance of 16 billion taels, and to date, the elf industry has received 40 billion taels. The Dianxi Jewelry Company earned 50 billion taels in 3 months. Now, his balance has reached 176 billion taels, which is equivalent to 1.76 million elf coins. He was able to purchase 2 red habitats. Luo Sha had already decided what to buy, and he called Xiao Ai directly. Xiao Ai, use 240% off coupons. I want to buy the World Tree Habitat and the End of the Land Habitat. I am here, artificial. Idiot. Xiao Ai was stuck for a while, and then continued, ding. Congratulations to the host for purchasing 1 World Tree Habitat and 1 End of the Land Habitat. Luo Sha took out a scroll from the system backpack, first materialized the World Tree Habitat, and placed it at the junction of the Wind Kingdom and the River Kingdom. A huge wave of natural energy once again spread throughout the ninja world, but no one could feel the change in energy at all. Only the immortals from the 3 holy places had their eyes wide open with horror on their faces. How could such a powerful being appear again? And there's more than one. The overlord of the World Tree Habitat is undoubtedly Dream. Dreams have divine duties and maintain the stability of the world. They are extremely special beings. When the World Tree was seated in the ninja world, the entire ninja world became more stable. Kaguya Otsutsuki, who was trapped and moldy on the moon, felt it most clearly. She didn't know why the moon suddenly strengthened its seal on her. Princess Kaguya was awakened by the strengthened seal. The first people she thought of were her 2 filial eldest sons. They must have reinforced the seal because they were afraid it would loosen. The traitor. The traitor. Kaguya was furious but unable to move. After cursing through gritted teeth, Kaguya Otsutsuki closed her eyes and fell asleep again. Only by sleeping can she survive this long dark night. Who knows when she will be able to get out. It has been a full 1,000 years, and Black Zetsu has not rescued her yet. It's really flying. Kaguya didn't know that Black Zetsu is now locked in a tea kettle by Rasa and was enjoying the same treatment as her. Rasa himself even forgot where he buried the tea kettle. In short, Black Zetsu's role is not very complete yet. The energy fluctuations of the entire world gradually calmed down. Luo Sha whistled to summon Rayquaza, and took the team members and Mutuo to rush straight to the World Tree. Luo Sha opened the map and checked the distribution of the World Tree elf races. The most conspicuous one was the 3 Holy Pillars clan. The World Tree is definitely a top-level red quality habitat, and 1 Regichicus alone is enough to qualify, plus Regilock, Regiace, Regis Killu. It was normal for the 3 immortals to feel terrified. Together with the 3 Holy Pillars clan, these were 5 divine beasts that possessed divine authority. The 3 Holy Pillars clan lives inside the World Tree, and their duty is to protect the World Tree. The 4 patriarchs obtained their priesthood through resonance with the world, and the World Tree was a shortcut for them to gain authority. Correspondingly, they are also restricted by heaven and earth. They need to guard the World Tree forever and are not allowed to step out of the World Tree's habitat. The ordinary 3 Holy Pillars can leave the clan land, but these cannot. But this has no effect on them. They can sleep for who knows how many years. As sacred pillar Pokémon, what they like most is to stay at home and sleep if no one disturbs them. They can stay where they are until the end of time. When the god of creation arranged guards for the world tree, he took into consideration the characteristics of the 3 holy pillars and entrusted them with such an important task. Otherwise, are we going to count on Dream to protect the world tree? Chapter 131 5 Divine Beasts. In addition to the 5 divine beasts, the world tree also has more than 200 ordinary 3 holy pillars. In addition to the 3 holy pillars, various dragon-type quasi-gods are also present: Dragonite, Land Shark, Tyrannosaurus, 3-headed dragon, Dragon Baruto, Slimy Dragon, Scaly Dragon. In the world tree, the worst Pokémon are all orange quality Pokémon. Luo Sha looked at the markings on the system map and understood why Xiao Ai was stuck. Is this too much? Doesn't it mean that invincible riding doesn't need to consider the balance of combat power and all? Last time he conquered Regius in the Snow Country. This time he can light up all the achievements of the 3 holy pillars. The achievements of quasi-gods can also be lit up. The world tree habitat is a red quality habitat that covers an area of 100,000 square kilometers, including the land around the world tree. All belong to the world tree habitat. When Luo Sha and the other 3 arrived in front of the world tree, they couldn't help but feel awe in their hearts. They stood in the distance and looked from afar, and saw a giant tree that was 500 meters high, towering into the clouds, as if it reached directly between heaven and earth. Its crown is like a green ocean, and its dense branches and leaves cover an area of several miles. A breeze blew, and the sunlight filtered through the gaps in the leaves, creating patches of mottled light and shadows. Like a dreamlike scene, the 4 of them walked closer to the world tree and got in close contact with this giant tree. A pink cat flew out from the world tree and looked at Luo Sha and his group curiously. Name: Dream. Gender: none. Attribute: superpower. Features: synchronization, synchronize your poisoning, burning, and paralysis status to the opponent. Level: LV91, 6 paths. Early stage: clergy, world, 100%, individual, 6 vote. Skills: mental power, wave missile, transformation, trick, seal, finger wave, life drop, instant amnesia, world authority. 1 bind to the world tree, live and die with the world, and help the god of creation maintain the stable operation of the world. 2 all Pokemon have a very high affinity for Mew, and will actively protect Mew when it is hurt. 3 mobilize the power of the world and call upon the god of creation. Mew is a pink bipedal Pokemon with mammalian characteristics. It looks like a pink kitten and is extremely cute. Its snout is short and wide, its triangular ears stand upright playfully, and its big blue eyes are like 2 sparkling sapphires. Its fur is short and dense, like soft silk, and its tail is long, about twice its height, with an olive-shaped tip like a carefully carved gem. All eyes in Mew are on Mewtwo, who seems to have a special connection with it. It seems to be a blood bond. When Manghun thought that she suddenly had a son, she felt like she was struck by lightning and started spinning in circles chasing her own tail. Mew tried to shake this strange thought out of its mind, but when it saw Mewtwo it was like seeing its son. It has never given birth to a child, it is still a child itself. How could it be willing to give birth to a child? But Mewtwo really has its bloodline. Mew stopped spinning dejectedly and flew in front of Mewtwo. Maya. Son. Mew stretched out his short little hand and poked Mewtwo with his claws. Mewtwo had a complicated expression. It didn't expect Mew to have such a personality so jumpy. Mewtwo communicated with Mew through telepathy and told him his origins. Huanhuan suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. It turned out that the child was not its own. It just passed on its genes. Huanhuan suddenly realized that this seemed to be its child as well. Mew hugged Mewtwo with a kind expression. The atmosphere was quiet for a moment, and crows flew over everyone's heads. Mewtwo couldn't hold back and lifted Mew up with his right hand and started communicating with him mentally again. Dreamy looked at Xiaoming in confusion. Its clear eyes showed everything it couldn't understand. There is a clear stupidity all over Dream. Mewtwo clenched his left fist, frowned, and left here using instant teleportation. Manghun was confused and looked at Luo Sha with clear eyes. Mewtwo has a stomachache, so I'm leaving now. Luo Sha smiled awkwardly. No one knew who Mewtwo inherited his high IQ from. It can't be a dream. Manghun believed what Luo Sha said and nodded like a chick pecking at rice. The breath of Luo Sha made it very comfortable, and Manghun immediately floated over and pulled Luo Sha into the world tree. A space channel appeared on the world tree, and the 4 people followed Huanhuan to the interior of the world tree. The inside of the world tree is covered with vegetation, and various kinds of fruit trees are everywhere. Luo Sha discovered that the fruits grown here can mature instantly. A Garchomp picked the fruit from the tree. However, At the moment when the Garcom picked the fruit, a new fruit grew in the same place. The four of them followed Huan Hun's footsteps, and the figures of the three Holy Pillars clan came into view. Half of the three Holy Pillars are in a dormant state, while the other half are in an activated state. Guarding this place carefully, Holy Pillars with divine functions are very easy to identify, with faint halos flashing behind them. Name: Reggie Locke. Gender: none. Attribute: rock. Characteristics: eternally pure body. Level: LV85. Clergy: guard, 100%. Individual: 6-volt skills, big explosion, destruction beam, electromagnetic cannon, luck on, brute force, sharp stone attack, rock slide. Guardian Authority 1 in the World Tree Habitat. Regirock's strength increases by 200%. Point 2 consumes 1/8 of your physical strength to perform invincible defense. The duties of the three Holy Pillars are all Guardian, and the effects are exactly the same. Their divine authority was gained through enlightenment at the World Tree, and therefore is linked to the World Tree name. Regichukkas. Gender: none. Attributes: general feature, slow start. Regichukkas is in a low energy state, and it takes 5 minutes to activate its own combat power. Within 5 minutes, Regichukkas' attack and speed are halved. Level: LV91. Clergy: strength, 100%. Individual: 6-volt skills, crushing, arm hammer, ultimate impact, heavy impact, mind hammer, wide area defense, megadon smash, power and authority. 1 with immense strength. Regichukkas' attack is increased by 100%. Point 2 in the World Tree Habitat. All attributes of Regichukkas are increased by 200%. Point 3 ignore defense and attack with true damage. The priestly authority of Holy Pillar King Regichukkas is much more powerful than that of the three Holy Pillars in the World Tree Habitat. Regichukkas' attributes are tripled, and his attack is quadrupled. In the World Tree Habitat, the slow start feature has no effect on it at all. After leaving the World Tree Habitat, Regichukkas' speed will be halved for 5 minutes. But his attack will not be halved. The increase in the priesthood has effectively covered up the weakness of slow start. As for real damage, with Regichukkas' attack, he can kill everything with one punch. Of course, Regichukkas' weakness is also obvious: his slow speed. When facing flexible opponents, Regichukkas is at a loss. Regichukkas is a super plus version of Snorlax, with obvious advantages and disadvantages. This type of high attack, slow speed Pokemon requires a controlled type teammate to achieve maximum effect. Chapter 132: The Improvement of Strength. The four Holy Pillars with divine beauties were not in a deep sleep. Instead, they lay on the ground with their eyes closed and took a light nap. The arrival of Luo Sha and the other four immediately alarmed them. With Mew leading the way, the four Pokemon didn't move. After glancing at Luo Sha, they prepared to close their eyes and sleep again. Regichukkas, can I capture the three Holy Pillars? I won't take them away from here. I will release them immediately after putting them in the Pokeball. Luo Sha ran up to Regichukkas and asked cautiously. This Regichukkas is 5 meters tall and can crush a person into pulp with one kick. Reggie, as long as you can defeat the three sacred pillars, you can conquer the opponent. Regichukkas' 6 lights flickered and he nodded. No problem. Regichukkas made a special sound, and the three sleeping Holy Pillars in the field were all awakened, and the lights on their bodies lit up one after another. They received a signal from the Patriarch and waited for Luo Sha's challenge. Regichukkas ignored Luo Sha and fell into sleep. Seeing that their boss agreed to Luo Sha's request, the three divine beasts of Regilock stopped paying attention and followed Regichukkas into a sleep state. The World Tree has 80 sets of the three Holy Pillars and 8 Regichukkas, a total of 248 elves excluding the 4 Holy Pillars of the priesthood. Luo Sha can capture 3 out of 244 Holy Pillars. Luo Sha opened the elf panel and kept exploring the information of the 3 Holy Pillars. The individual values of most of the 3 Holy Pillars fluctuate between 2 volt and 3 volt, and a few of them reach 4 volt. Of course, there are few 3 Holy Pillars that only have 1 volt. Luo Sha explored all 3 Holy Pillars and found that in each Holy Pillar, only one elf reached an individual value of 1 volt. The strength of all 3 Holy Pillars is around the level of Kage, and their age is so great that it is impossible to estimate. Without any chance, they probably won't be able to break through to the Super Shadow level. As for the 7 Regichukkas, the worst one has an individual value of 7 volt, and 2 of them even have an individual value of 3 volt. These 7 Regichukkas have no priestly enhancements and are hindered by their slow start characteristics, so defeating them within 5 minutes is the best solution. There are 2 5-volt Regichukkas, one with the strength of Super Shadow and the other with the strength of Shadow. Luo Sha naturally chose the former. Rosa's trump cards Rayquaza and Bangira are at the early Shadow level, and even after Mega Evolution they are unable to defeat Super Shadow level Pokémon. The dragon-headed Diglett was carrying the Scarlet Orb, and the Metagross was carrying the Feather of Poseidon. The two Pokémons made faster progress and successfully pulled away from the other companions. Within these 3 months, the two elves reached LV71, successfully breaking through the Shadow level and becoming the 10th and 11th existences in the Elf Hall. Steel Drill Dragon-Head Hamster, Metal King Metagross. Among Luo Sha's team of elves, the levels of Pangolier and Weirdling have also reached the bottleneck of LV70. With the enhancement of the auto-attack system, they will be able to break through to the Shadow level within a year. As for Huhu, he has been transferred to the second team. Huhu does not have the enhancement of the AFK system, and he is usually lazy in practicing. His strength can no longer keep up with the team, and his current level is only LV63. Huhu devoted himself to the juice shop, and Luo Sha did not force Huhu to participate in training. He supported the choice of every elf. Greninja has been training alone for a year, and Luo Sha visits it on the first day of every month. Greninja is currently the second strongest in the tribe. Greninja Chief is an elite Chunin, and Greninja is no match for him. Greninja has been training hard, and with the help of the Sapphire Orb, it had already reached the strength of LV59 when they last met. Once Greninja breaks through LV61, it will definitely be able to defeat the Greninja leader and become the strongest in the tribe. The new year is approaching, and Luo Sha is preparing to bring Greninja back and asks Isafi to help Greninja activate the Sage mode. After that, Greninja can practice ninjutsu. Luo Sha's own strength has also improved greatly. The last time he fought Shagu, he was able to hang Shagu up and beat him in the early stage. Shagu could fight against Luo Sha on equal terms, but Shagu couldn't hit Luo Sha at all, and the large-range magnetic escape was useless. Shagu gradually fell into disadvantage and was finally beaten into autism by Luo Sha. Mewtwo is a very good teacher, and Rasa's superpowers improved rapidly under Mewtwo's training in terms of speed. Luo Sha has reached the Super Shadow level sequence. Even a Shadow level warrior couldn't even touch him. However, chakra and superpowers still cannot be integrated, and Rasa's ninjutsu and superpowers are now separate. His ninjutsu is at the cage level, and his superpowers are also at the cage level. Luo Sha's most powerful attack methods at the moment are still the Giant God Soldier and two magical techniques with extremely long names. Therefore, his attack still remains at the Shadow level. Luo Sha positioned himself as the strongest Shadow and the weakest Super Shadow at this time. Luo Sha had completed the exploration of all three sacred pillars and had already selected the target to be conquered. 3 5-volt individual value Regichukis, Regilock, and Regis Kilu. Luo Sha released Metagross, with a blue light flashing in his eyes, and linked his superpowers with Metagross. One person and one elf reach the same frequency resonance. In terms of the combat power of Pokémon alone, the ranking of Pokémon in Rosa's team is Rayquaza, Bangira, Metagross, Diglett. But if the special enhancement of superpowers is taken into account, Metagross's strength has surpassed Rayquaza and Bangira. As a Shadow-level psychic, Luo Sha can bring huge boost to Metagross. Metagross's strength has risen from the initial Shadow level to the peak Shadow level after Mega Evolution. Metagross can briefly enter the Super Shadow level sequence. It is because of Metagross that Rosa chose to capture the Super Shadow level Regichukis. Luo Sha is confident that he can defeat it. Luo Sha walked up to Regichukis, looked up at Regichukis, and shouted loudly, "Regichukis, I want to conquer you." Upon hearing this, Regichukis stood up and assumed a fighting stance. The three holy pillars around formed a circle to prevent a battle from affecting the world tree. The battle began, and Metagross lit up white. Entering Mega State, Regichukis was affected by the slow start characteristic, and his attack and speed were only half at this moment. For Luo Sha, it was a godsend. Metagross easily dodged Regichukis's attack while using high-speed movement. After 3 high-speed moves, Metagross' speed has reached its maximum. The Metagross stopped moving, concentrated its mind and gathered its energy, gathering strength to use the Chi Fist, and looked at the rushing Regichukis. Regichukis used heavy impact and was rushing towards Metagross clumsily. To be honest, just looking at Regichukis's size, this move is indeed very intimidating, but the heavy impact of having the speed, unless Metagross stands still, Regichukis's move will fail after 3 times of high-speed movement. Metagross's movement speed is as fast as flash. The giant golden monster dodged Regichukis' attack in an instant, and punched Regichukis back with the energy that had been condensed in his hand for a long time. Chapter 133, Conquer Battle. Regigigas is a normal-type Pokémon whose only attribute weakness is fighting. Metagross's Chi Fist can cause double damage. Regigigas was hit by the giant monster's punch and staggered a few steps and fell to the ground. Metagross took advantage of the victory and used Pounce to crash into Regigigas' back. At the same time, his four fists glowed white and he swung his fists to use Break the Tile 4. Just as Regigigas was about to stand up, he was hit by the Metagross and fell to the ground again. Metagross's four big fists hit Regigigas, causing Regigigas' light to flicker in pain, like a half-crippled Ultraman Tiga. However, Regigigas was tough and stood firm without falling. Metagross threw 4 punches at once, using all his strength, and continuously used fighting skills to attack Regigigas. Chop the tiles, chop the tiles, chop the tiles, chop the tiles. Regigigas was beaten for 2 minutes and would have burst into tears if he had eyes. How can you bully Xiao Ai like this? Pillars also have human rights. After being beaten, Regigigas regained his consciousness and came up with a way to balance the power. Regigigas gathered the hold spell and temporarily slowed down Metagross's attack. Regigigas realized that it could only take a beating before it activated, so it used Hold On and Wide Area Defense in succession to resist Metagross's attack. Unfortunately, the good times didn't last long. As Regigigas' third defense failed, Regigigas was hit by 4 more tile-breaking punches, and the lights on his body dimmed. Regigigas, who was beaten the whole time, became angry even though he was a pillar. This is really too much? Regigigas exploded, the lights brightened up a few degrees, and released a stream of Dilacum light. Diga, please pay the copyright fee. Thank you. Regigigas was like being possessed by Tiga. He endured the pain and used Tooth for Tooth and punched the Metagross. Tit for Tat is a backhand attack that can cause twice the damage of the opponent's attack. Luo Sha narrowed his eyes, and Metagross instantly moved to the side, avoiding Regigigas' punch. Rosa was paying close attention to the situation on the field throughout the game, and every move of Regigigas was inseparable from Rosa's prediction. The Metagross was so overwhelmed with the attack that he almost capsized. The energy in his body surged, and he concentrated all his strength into 4 chi punches, ready to give Regigigas a big one. The Metagross advanced again and struck Regigigas on the forehead. Regigigas was not willing to be outdone and used the Megadon blow to collide with Metagross's fists. Unfortunately, Metagross has 4 arms, and Regigigas only blocked 2 of them. 2 chi punches hit Regigigas' forehead. Regigigas saw stars and turned around dizzily for a few times, feeling that the world was blurry. For 5 minutes, Regigigas endured the beating for a full 5 minutes. In the end, he couldn't bear it and fell down unwillingly. The 3 holy pillars watching from all sides were silent. This was simply a crushing defeat. Metagross heaved a sigh of relief. It had been punching at a high frequency for 5 minutes, its fists were smoking, and 80% of its physical strength was consumed. In normal battles, Metagross can maintain its mega state for at least 30 minutes. 4 punches were launched at the same time, quadrupling the consumption, causing it to consume so much physical strength in 5 minutes. Fortunately, Metagross exited the mega state, floated to Luo Sha's side, and stood there quietly. Luo Sha did not subdue Regigigas immediately, but first used the power of Changpan to heal Regigigas' injuries. The 6 lights on Regigigas' body lit up again, gradually returning to their full strength. Regigigas stood up, knelt on one knee, and expressed his submission to Luo Sha. Luo Sha took out a Master Ball and captured Regigigas. New achievement, Holy Pillar King. Congratulations to the host for conquering Regigigas and obtaining Start Eternal Machine 1. Start the Eternal Machine, Red, an exclusive item for Regigigas that can eliminate the side effect of Regigigas' slow start. Note, this is a special edition of Xiao Ai brand, which can be used with confidence by the host and worn by the elves. Luo Sha curiously took out the Eternal Machine from the system backpack, and a clock appeared in his hand. The 3 hands on the front of the clock are fixed at 12 o'clock, and a cartoon image of Regigigas is depicted on the back. Luo Sha immediately released Regigigas and put the clock on Regigigas. The clock turned into a beam of red light and merged into Regigigas' body. Name Regigigas. Gender, none. Attributes. General feature. Slow start, sealed, level, LV84, middle stage of Super Shadow, individual, 5 volt, HP 31, physical attack 31, physical defense 31, special attack 31, special defense 31, speed 28, skills. Briefly Regigigas clapped his hands on his chest and roared, appearing extremely excited. That clock is so special that the energy consumption of its operation is fixed, and it no longer needs to go into a low power state. It will stay enabled forever. Regichicus walked to Rosa's side, and together with Metagris, guarded Rosa on the left and behind. Regichicus decided to follow Rosa to repay Rosa's kindness. Luo Sha looked at Regichicus with surprise. He didn't expect that Regichicus was willing to follow him to leave the world tree. This was a complete surprise. Luo Sha's second target of challenge is a LV-74 Regirock Mega Rayquaza used the finishing touch and easily ended the battle. New achievement, conquering Regirock. Congratulations to the host for obtaining one Rock Gem, an exclusive item for Regirock. If Regirock wears it for a long time, it can slowly increase his level. It is valid for 10 years. The third target of Luo Sha's challenge is a LV-72 Regis Killer. Luo Sha sent Bangila to fight. Bangila is twice as restrained by the steel type, so Luo Sha can be said to be a master of reversing attributes. However, Bangila can also use ground-based skills to double restrain Regis Killer. Relying on tactics, Luo Sha is fully confident of defeating Regis Killer. Bangila used Quicksand Abyss at the beginning to bind Regis Killer in place. Then, Bangila started to dance the dragon dance without Billion. Regis Killer was completely unaware of the seriousness of the problem, and used long-range skills to continuously attack Bangila. In the Quicksand, Bangila used Hold to block the Cannon Beam and the Destruction Beam. Bangila couldn't hold on, so Luo Sha used his superpowers to help it dodge. Using superpowers in combat does not count as cheating. After Bangila performed the dragon dance 6 times and completed the Mega Evolution again, he used 100,000 horsepower to rush towards Regis Killer. This is the World Tree, so the Earthquake skill obviously cannot be used. The attack value of 100,000 horsepower is as high as 95, which is only 5 points less powerful than Earthquake. It is Bangila's main means of victory. Bangila used a 100,000 horsepower shot to send Regis Killer flying. The full level physical attack increase and double attack restrained. Even if Regis Killer's defense is as high as 150 points, he cannot withstand Bangila's attack. Regis Killer's eyes were full of circles, and he fainted on the ground. Bangila raised his head proudly, swung his tail proudly, and glanced at Rayquaza. It defeated Regis Zilu with 1 move, and Rayquaza defeated Regirock with 10 moves. This time, it won. Bangila is full of confidence and decides to challenge Rayquaza's position as soon as he returns to the village. Defeating Mewtwo is its ultimate goal. Sooner or later it will take back its position as the boss. Chapter 134, Continental Reigns, Dragon Holy Land. The battle stopped, and the 3 holy pillars who were watching on the side gradually dispersed and fell asleep again. Luo Sha took out the luxury ball and easily conquered Regis Killer, lighting up the third achievement. New achievement, conquering Regis Killer. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 Steel Gem, an exclusive item for Regis Killer. If Regis Killer wears it for a long time, it can slowly increase its level. It is valid for 10 years. Not only that, Luo Sha also led up the highest philatelic achievement. New achievement, Holy Pillar Family. According to legend, the Holy Pillar King Regichicus can tie up the continent with ropes and drag it to move. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Regichicus' original return item, Continental Reigns 1 Continental Bridle, Red. 1 After wearing it, Regichicus can return to his original state. His body size will grow 100 times, and all attributes will be greatly increased. 2 After the Continental Reigns are tied to the continent will not break. 3 Minimum wearing requirement, level. Groudon, the god of earth, and Kyogre, the god of the sea, demonstrated their original power in Pokémon TV, proving to the world that the legend is true. Creating the land and oceans, they have the power to easily destroy a continent. The legend of Regichicus has never been confirmed, and no one knows how Regichicus, which is only 3.7 meters long, dragged the continent. As time passed, everyone forgot about a majestic figure of Regichicus dragging the continent, and thought it was an exaggeration and a rumor. The appearance of the Continental Reigns shows that the legend is true. Luo Sha took a deep breath to calm his pounding heart. This is a powerful weapon. After Regichicus' original return, he could easily destroy a continent. Out of selfishness, Luo Sha will keep this item for his own Regichicus. Otherwise, the priesthood of power of Chief Regichicus combined with the reigns of the continent would be enough to destroy the world. Luo Sha threw the Continental Reigns into a secret corner of the system backpack and would take it out when it needed in the future. Luo Sha took out 2 gems and gave them to Regirock and Regis Killer. The 2 elves and Regichicus made the same choice and followed Luo Sha away. Huan Huan sat on a high place and watched the entire battle, with an expression that showed he was still unsatisfied. The World Tree is usually so boring, and it's a rare opportunity to watch a show today. Mimang Huan. floated down, floated in front of Luo Sha, and made a gesture of praise with its little paws. Mew, thank you for bringing me to the world tree, Luo Sha grinned. The gains from this trip were really huge. Manghun waved his hands, looking indifferent. He only hoped that Luo Sha could come to the world tree more often to play with him, although it is not as terrible as the 3 holy pillars that possess divine powers and can never leave the world tree habitat. It is not much better either. It can temporarily leave the habitat of the world tree, but for the stability of the world tree, it chooses to be a dead homebody and stay in the world tree. No problem. I will come to see you often in the future. The world tree is not far from the sand village. In fact, the world tree is an excellent place to practice natural energy. The natural energy of the world tree is very rich, and it has all kinds of attributes and elements. Luo Sha feels that practicing the sage mode here may increase his success rate. For Pokemon with 2V potential, you can try sage mode. However, the world tree is too important, and Luo Sha cannot relax the restrictions and allow others to enter. It's the natives of the world tree, those dragon-type quasi-gods. They are numerous and powerful. If they could learn the sage mode, this place would immediately become a Dragon Holy Land in the future. Rayquaza can become the boss of the Dragon Holy Land. The Great Sage Azure Dragon Dragonite is the Fat Fairy. The Violent Salamander is the Flying Dragon. Immortal Land Shark is the Earth Dragon. Immortal the Slimy Dragon is the Beautiful Dragon Fairy. The Three-Headed Evil Dragon is the Evil Dragon. Immortal Dulong Gerudo is the Yalong. Immortal the Staff-Tailed Scaly Armored Dragon is the Phosphorus Dragon. Immortal there are 7 groups of dragon quasi-gods here, and Luo Sha can create at least 7 immortals. However, Dragon-type Pokemon need Dragon Veins to activate Sage Mode. The Dragon Vein is located in Lalin and cannot be moved. It is not realistic for Luo Sha to capture all these Dragons-type Pokemon and bring them to Lalin. In the future, Dragon-type Pokemon will need to make a trip to Lalin every time they activate Sage Mode, which is really too troublesome. The 9-tailed beasts don't have a Dragon-type counterpart. The transformation process of the Dragon Holy Land also encountered problems. Luo Sha kept this in mind and went back to discuss it with Orochimaru. Luo Sha and his 3 companions stayed in the World Tree for half a month, playing with Manghun. Dreamy's personality has always been childish, playful, naughty and kind. Luo Sha also taught Manghun the common characters of the ninja world. To Luo Sha's surprise, Manghun learned it immediately. In just 1 week, Mew had perfectly mastered the ninja world's writing, which made Luo Sha certain that Mew's high IQ was indeed inherited from Mew. It's just that its dreamy personality makes it look like it's not a top student. Instead, he looks like a clear-headed yet foolish college student, or a naive elementary school student. Luo Sha made a mailbox next to the World Tree. From now on, a messenger bird will deliver newspapers to the World Tree every day to help Manghun kill time. The World Tree is located at the junction of the Wind Kingdom and the River Kingdom, which is the border between the 2 countries. The Begonia news from the River Kingdom, as well as the Tomato News and Sands Village News from the Wind Kingdom, can all be sent here. Tomato Newspaper Company has absorbed many small newspapers because of its strong sales channels. For example, Filu News, Kimeo News, Liumeo News, Zonghang News. Today, the Tomato Newspaper Company publishes as many as 10 newspapers a day, which is enough to kill time in a dreamy way. You can know what's going on in the world even if you stay at home. Mewtwo came to the World Tree again the next day, and it still couldn't help but run back to find Mew. Mew was so moved by Mewtwo that she pulled him to jump rope. After jumping rope, I went to play with bubbles. The bubbles of the World Tree can wrap people and fly them. I flew a circle inside the World Tree and viewed the panoramic view inside the tree. Karula loves sitting in bubbles very much. She is full of artistic spirit and sits in the bubble every day to paint the scenery of the World Tree. Yukang and Zhongya excitedly ran to challenge the Dragon-type elves. Yukang's Charizard was badly beaten, and he has made great progress during this period. As for Xiao Ai's Boscadora, find a Garchomp of equal strength and fight against it every day. Both elves are stubborn and love to act recklessly. They use real manly punches and fight to show their revolutionary friendship. Yukang found a fat monster, which had the combat power of a cage. Fida is the gentlest dragon-type Pokemon and patiently serves as Yukang's sparring partner. Yukang still has the strength of an elite Jonin. For a ninja, the cage level is an extremely difficult threshold to cross. Yukang's full strength attack of Scorch Release, Nirvana, has now reached the standard of cage level, but other aspects are still insufficient and cannot be called quasi-cage. Chapter 135, Farewell, the End. Yukang is not a match for Ebizo now. According to the standards set by Luo Sha for her, if Yukang can defeat Ebizo, He will be a quasi-shadow. Ebizo has high attainments in ninjutsu and is good at wind and earth jutsu. At the same time, Ebizo is also an elite puppeteer. Ebizo's puppetry was taught by Xiao himself, and he could fight against an elite Jonin with puppetry alone. After reaching quasi-shadow strength a few years ago, Ebizo started to lose his composure. Luo Sha didn't know what kind of mentality Ebizo had to be so thorough. Ever since Sunagakure became the #1 ninja village and dominated the ninja world, there are fewer and fewer spies from other ninja villages. They were all afraid of being caught wrong by Sunagakure and having to pay half of their territory like Konoha did. The interrogation department suddenly became idle and became the most relaxed department in Sunagakure. Ebizo had some free time, and instead of practicing, he went to the tavern every day to drink and brag. His drinking buddies were Li Feng, Zhonggayu and Shiluo. Ebizo may have been mentally repressed for too long, and he deserves a beating whenever he opens his mouth, and Li Feng and the other two suffered greatly from this. Li Feng was fine, as long as he took out a scroll, Ebizo would shut up. Zhongyu and Shiluo were both in bad luck, and they couldn't escape even if they wanted to. The crystal lamp spirit was standing behind Ebizo. The two men did not dare to resist and could only sit there and listen to Ebizo bragging. The crystal lamp spirit lost her job and her temper gradually became bad. They don't want to be sucked. Seeing Ebizo's miserable state, Luo Sha decided to make him Yi Kang's target. The odds between Yi Kang and Ebizo are now 40-60. The biggest flaw is the hit rate of Yi Kang's scorching release, Nirvana, which can't hit Ebizo at all, causing Yi Kang to be at a disadvantage all the time. Dragonite moves extremely fast, and Yi Kang's long-range ninjutsu cannot hit Dragonite at all. Yi Kang's current ability in training is prediction. As long as the ninja's combat sense is sharp enough, prediction can play a very important role. In Luo Sha's 4-member team, Luo Sha is a cheater, Xiao Ai is also a cheater, Karula is an all-round support, and only Yi Kang is working hard to improve himself every day. If nothing unexpected happens, the two most talented people of this generation of Sans Village are Rasa and Yi Kang. In half a month, Yi Kang was able to hit Dragonite 7 out of 10 times through breath positioning, perception, and movement speed judgment. Even if 3 attacks missed the target, they could still hit the target. Now, every time Dragonite uses a different movement speed, Yi Kang can predict it perfectly. Luo Sha was surprised by Yi Kang's speed of progress. Yi Kang's predictive ability is so strong and his ultimate move has a very high hit rate. Ebizo is no longer Yi Kang's opponent. After half a month of targeted training, Yi Kang is strong enough to become a quasi-shadow master. Now Yi Kang only needs to improve his ninjutsu and refine his chakra, and becoming a Kage is just around the corner. Zhonggayu fell in love with a jade-washed form of slimy dragon, a dragon plus steel type. At first sight in the entire world tree, only this one slimy dragon is in the Zika form, and it is obviously mutated. Xiao Ai conquered the slimy dragon with his strength. Nian Milong's strength is only LV57, and he is no match for Xiao Ai at all. Unfortunately, Nian Milong has parents, and the two dragons are very unhappy with the yellow-haired man who wanted to kidnap their daughter. The level of Nian Milong's father is as high as LV74. And he is one of the 3 shadow-level fighters in the Nian Milong clan. The mother of Nian Milong also has the strength of LV70. But her strength is stuck at the bottleneck of the shadow level. The two dragons cooperated in doubles and started a fierce battle with Zhonggayu. In the end, it was naturally Xiao Ai who won. As the 7-tails Jinchuriki and a major chakra user, the red iron shurikens that filled the screen were enough to overwhelm the two dragons. Xiao Ai didn't feel bad. In order to gain the approval of Nian Milong, he continuously attacked the two dragons with endless red iron shurikens. Zhongming lay flat on his back, watching the chakra that had been consumed in 2 minutes, and rolled his eyes speechlessly. Shukaku only has half of its chakra. If this were Shukaku, it would be equivalent to losing half of his chakra. Zhonggayu showed off his power in a handsome manner, making all the fans of Nian Milong go crazy. Nian Milong's eyes were full of stars. He ran to Zhongmi in admiration, forgetting his old parents. In the eyes of the slimy dragon, its father is the strongest dragon in the world. Zhonggayu defeated his father so easily, it is obvious that Zhonggayu is stronger. The gene in Sinhala's bones that desires to become stronger was stimulated by Xiao Ai. After saying goodbye to its parents, Sinhala entered Xiao Ai's Pokeball without hesitation. In the past half-month, Zhongmi lived in Nian Milong's cave and was completely recognized by Nian Milong's parents. The World Tree is a very good trial place, and the elves of the 4 have been practicing hard in the past half-month. Luo Sha looked at everyone training enthusiastically and suddenly felt a little ashamed. The cheats were so powerful that he didn't even want to work hard. In fact, he also works very hard, at least Manghun fully recognizes him. Luo Sha found an excuse for himself and played with Manghun with peace of mind. Mu Tuo is a hypocrite but a righteous person. He has been staying by Mu's side for the past half-month. When Xiaoming saw that Mu lived such a simple and happy life, he seemed to have some feelings. Dream possesses the world authority and is bound to the world tree, making it impossible for Luo Sha to subdue it. Luo Sha didn't force it, as he could always materialize another fantasy one in the future. Half a month passed quickly, and the four said goodbye to the elves and prepared to leave the world tree. Yukang and Dragonite hugged each other affectionately, and the man and the dragon had already developed feelings for each other. Next to Xiao Ai was a jade-washed form of Nyanmei dragon, waving goodbye to the Nyanmei dragon clan. Under Manghun's reluctant eyes, Luo Sha and the other three went to their next destination, the place of End. Luo Sha launched the land of End only after reaching the desert of the Kingdom of Wind. The end of the land habitat is located in the southeast of the Kingdom of Wind, and the nearest town is Deadleaf City. Luo Sha couldn't be sure whether Groudon would remain awake when he appeared, so he had to be cautious. If Groudon appeared and wreaked havoc in the Wind Kingdom, he would be able to stop it immediately. A powerful wave of natural energy emerged again, converging towards the southeast of the Wind Kingdom. The immortals from the three holy places have become numb at this moment, and the slug immortal has already prepared for the move. As soon as there is danger, it runs away. The toad sage was calm. He made a prediction about Mount Myaboku and found that Mount Myaboku was not in danger of destruction. The white snake immortal couldn't help but feel fear in his heart, but he still maintained a proud attitude. It is confident enough in its own strength that it can escape even if it is defeated. Its ability to save its life is first rate. After the habitat area of the End land was formed, Luo Sha did not notice any strange movements. Groudon should be sleeping. Luo Sha checked the information about the place of End with peace of mind. The end of the land habitat is mainly populated by rock, ground-type Pokémon, and fire-type Pokémon. Except for a few legendary Pokémon, all rock and ground-type Pokémon are here. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136 The End. The shadow level Pokémon are LV78 Land Cloud, LV74 Wave Water, LV74 Sky Blaze, LV74 Thunder Drum, LV73 Iron Track, LV73 Majestic Fang, LV73 Sandaronhide, and LV72 Banjir are the 8 shadow level Pokémon. 6 are paradoxical Pokémon. The origin of paradoxical Pokémon may be future technology or ancient species. The first thing Luo Sha thought of was ancient ruins. These 6 Pokémon should live in some ancient ruins and be sealed in vessels. Only Landcloud and Banjir are shadow-level Pokémon that can be encountered on the ground of the new island, and most Pokémon are at the Jonin level. After reading the basic information of the habitat, Luo Sha had a rough plan. The Land of the End is a red habitat, and the number of elves of each purple quality is as high as 3 digits. Purple quality elves are what the Sand Village needs most. First up are the 2 Pokémons, Steelix and Scorpio. The Sand Village's Steelix troops maintained a size of 40 people, while the Scorpion King troops had only 25 people. The number of Steelix and Scorpion King troops can now be quickly replenished, and we strive to reach a scale of 200 people within a year. The second is the Flying Unit, which maintains a size of 100 people and currently only has the Tropical Dragon Squad. The habitat of the End of the Land has 3 kinds of elves, Archaeopteryx, Pterosaur, and Desert Dragonfly. Archaeopteryx, Pterosaurs and Desert Dragonflies can become the 2nd, 3rd and 4th squads of the Flying Unit, with each squad reaching 100 people within a year. In addition to these already established troops, Sunagakure can also build new super armored Rhino troops, Buscadora troops, and Hippoman troops. The Sand Village will have 8 top-level troops, and they will be directly under the command of the Kazekage teams. If a ninja wants to join these 8, he must at least have the strength of an elite Chunin. Luo Sha has already decided on the 3 new troop leaders. Since he is directly under the Kazekage, he naturally has to choose his absolute confidant, the 1st super armored Rhino unit, with Mayuan as the unit leader. Mayuan was born into a commoner family and was promoted by Shagu. He is Shagu's direct subordinate. Mayuan is very powerful. He has served as the Minister of Anbu for 10 years and is 37 years old this year. When Rasa became the Fourth Kazekage 3 years later, Ma-Gen was only 3 years old. According to the new policy of delayed retirement, Ma Yuan needs to work until he is 65 years old and work for Luo Sha for 25 years. Luo Sha inherited his father's business, and Ma Yuan will be Luo Sha's direct descendant at that time. Very reasonable. The second Boscadora unit is led by Xiao Ai. Xiao Ai's ace Pokemon is Boscadora, so it's perfect for him to play this role. The third Hitman unit is led by Karula. Like Yukang, Karula is a player who is both talented and hard-working. However, there are 3 combat ninjas in the team, so Karula develops into a supporting role. Karula possesses the secret art of sands manipulation inherited from his family, and also learns the art of medicine and poison from Xiao, which also involves perception, sealing, and illusion. From Gaara's Masinuhu, we can see how powerful Gaara is. If Gaara had not passed away early in the original work, the Sand Village might have had an extra cage-level fighter, and Gaara would not have had such a tragic childhood. Karula happens to have a Hitman, which has an individual value of 3 volt and was given to Karula by Rosa himself. Hitman's level has reached LV 50. Once Hitman breaks through to LV 51, he can go to Shukaku to activate Sage Mode. Karula is qualified to be the captain of the unit. Luo Sha will not participate in the capture of these purple quality elves, nor will he participate in the formation of troops, but will leave the task to the troop leaders. Luo Sha has only 3 targets: Groudon, Landcloud and the Bangaera tribe. With Groudon's Crimson Orb in his hand, there is no way Groudon can return to its original form. Mewtwo has 6 paths level combat power and can Mega Evolve on its own. Plus, with the advantage of the sky, there's no way it could lose. What's more, Mega Rayquaza's Delta Airflow can invalidate Groudon's characteristics. Mega Mewtwo vs Super weakened version of Groudon. As for the Land Cloud, it is naturally to light up new achievements and create new gods. This Land Cloud is at level LV 78. After entering Sage Mode, it will definitely be able to upgrade to LV 80. It may even break through the bottleneck and directly upgrade to LV 81. After the achievement of 3 Cloud Gods is lit up, Luo Sha can make the Land Cloud a god. Finally, there is the Bangaera tribe. Luo Sha plans to make Bangaera the top inheritance of the Sand Village. Bangaera will be associated with the word Kazekage, and Bangaera will definitely be the main force of every Kazekage tribe. As for the original chief, the LV 72 Bangaera, it was left to Shagu to conquer. Since Bangaera and Kazekage are going to be bound together, how can we not have a Shagu? Luo Sha and the other 3 immediately took action to search for Groudon. Groudon is sleeping underground, so it is obviously very difficult to find it. But Rosa can make Groudon come to him on his own initiative. Luo Sha released the Dragon Head Hamster and took the Scarlet Orb from it. Although the land event is large, Groudon will definitely be able to sense the aura of the Vermilion Orb. Luo Sha put on sunglasses, took out a recliner from the Space Scroll, set up a large umbrella stand, and sat leisurely waiting for Groudon to come. This is called Rosha fishing for Groudon. Those who are willing will take the bait. Zongaya and the other 2 were also fully equipped, and following suit, the 4 of them lay down on the recliners and waited. Rayquaza simply rolled up and lay down beside Luo Sha. Xiaomeng looked at the 4 people speechlessly. They were just throwing all the work to it. In order to maintain his A-level status, Mewtwo stood there with his eyes closed and meditated. Xiaomeng secretly opened his eyes a little and looked at the 4 people wearing sunglasses. He was a little curious about how comfortable they were. Half an hour later, the ground began to shake slightly, and as time went on, the shaking became more and more violent. Xiaomeng, the courier has arrived, please remember to sign for it. Rosa used his psychic powers to hand the Vermilion Orb to Mewtwo, diverting Groudon's attack to Mewtwo. Mewtwo used his psychic powers to float the Vermilion Orb just above himself, to a height that Groudon couldn't reach. Luo Sha and the other 3 put away their equipment and took off to the sky on the Rayquaza to watch the battle in. Jengar showed up with great interest, took out the photo stone from his mouth, and prepared to record the video. Groudon's movement speed was really touching. The shaking lasted for 2 minutes before Groudon finally reached the battlefield. Chapter 137 Mewtwo vs Groudon. Roar, Groudon emerged from the ground, roared, and stared straight at Mewtwo. Its Scarlet Orb is in Mewtwo's hand, named Irato Gender, non-attribute ground characteristics Sunshine Clergy, Earth, 100%, level, LV 92, LV 98, individual, 6 volt skills, Cliff Sword, Fire Breath, Big Word Flame Blast, Smoke Spray, solar beam, earthquake, ground crack, earth power, primal power, mud shooting, sleep, arm hammer, bodybuilding, earth authority. 1 Gra woman stands on the ground, and all attributes are increased by 200%. 2 Grotto's ground attacks gain an additional 100% increase. 3 Groudon can create the earth, but creating the earth is extremely energy consuming, and Groudon needs to go through a long period of sleep to replenish his energy. Groudon's power of earth and Regigigas' power of strength have the same increase, both of which are 100% attack increase and 200% all attribute increase under certain conditions. But Groudon's specific conditions are more relaxed, and he can get the amplification just by standing on the ground. After reading Groudon's information, Luo Sha's mind was confused. He overlooked a very important thing. At this time, Groudon can exert 3 times the combat power and 4 times the attack power. Mewtwo does not have priestly authority, having never fought against a divine beast before. Luo Sha ignored this factor. Luo Sha slapped his forehead, thinking that he had been comfortable for too long and had become stupid. Mewtwo, find a way to prevent Groudon from standing on the ground. Luo Sha immediately used telepathy to explain Groudon's power over the earth to Mewtwo. After listening to Luo Sha's story, Xiaomeng frowned. It's tricky. Mewtwo and Groudon started fighting, and both sides started by using their ultimate skills. Mental Break collided with Cliff Sword, but the wave of Mental Break was quickly crushed, and Cliff Sword attacked Mewtwo. Mewtwo teleported to dodge, and it was clearly at a disadvantage in terms of attack. It looks like we have to get Groudon off the ground. Mewtwo acted decisively and used his psychic powers to float Groudon 1 meter off the ground. Groudon was stunned as he watched his feet leave the ground. It flew. It flies. It really flies. Roar. Groudon suddenly felt that the white creature in front of it became extremely pleasing to the eye, and it was a little reluctant to fight with Mewtwo. This is simply its soulmate. But Mewtwo will not hold back. White light emerges from Mewtwo's body and it evolves into Y form. Groudon's weakness is special defense. Y Mewtwo's special attack ratio value is as high as 194, which can cause higher damage to Groudon. In addition to using its signature skill Psychic, Mewtwo has also been using Grass Knot to attack Groudon. Mewtwo has already mastered all the skill discs, and its skill pool is bottomless. As Groudon is a ground-type Pokémon, its grass-type skills can have double the effect. Moreover, the biggest feature of tying the Grass Knot is that the heavier the opponent, the more powerful it is. Groudon weighs up to 950 kilograms, which increases the power of Grass Knot exponentially. Groudon was in so much pain from being hit by Mewtwo that he kept roaring angrily. Groudon was just about to let Mewtwo go, but he didn't expect Mewtwo to dare to hit it like this. Groudon was angry and kept using Cliff Sword to warn Mewtwo. Groudon will occasionally use skills such as Fire Breath, Earth Strength, and Solar Beam to try to knock Mewtwo to the ground, but Mewtwo did not fight Groudon head-on. It used teleportation to dodge Groudon's attacks while constantly whipping Groudon with Grass Knot. Luo Sha frowned as he watched. Although Mewtwo had the upper hand, its physical strength was depleted too quickly. Making Groudon float consumes a lot of Mewtwo's energy. The battle had only been going on for 2 minutes and Mewtwo was already gasping for breath. Mewtwo was not injured, and neither the blood replenishing potion nor the mana replenishing potion was of any use to Mewtwo. Luo Sha raised his hand and released the power of Changpan to replenish Mewtwo's physical strength, but this is just a drop in the bucket for Mewtwo. Luo Sha crossed 2 levels to replenish Mewtwo's physical strength. The physical strength consumed by the 6th paths level was simply beyond his ability to replenish. Zhongmi and the other 2 were also in a bad mood at this moment, as they also noticed something was wrong on the battlefield. Although Groudon was constantly being whipped by Grass Knot, Mewtwo had the upper hand, but Groudon was too durable. Even after being beaten like this, Groudon was still able to roar with full energy. Groudon's frequency of condensing the Cliff Sword did not slow down, and it was obvious that he still had plenty of physical strength. Is there any other way to get Groudon off the earth? Luo Sha patted his head and thought, leaving the earth. Luo Sha-kun, are the 3 holy places on the earth? Karula suddenly spoke, which immediately woke Luo Sha up. Yes, the 3 holy places. Luo Sha clapped his hands and said excitedly. If Groudon can still gain an increase in his priesthood in the 3 holy places, it means that the 3 holy places also belong to the category of the earth. Then Luo Sha will not be able to subdue Groudon in the short term. Then he would trap Groudon in the Holy Land and cause harm to the Holy Land. It's better than letting Groudon bring disaster to the ninja world. He has no relationship with the 3 holy places, especially Longdi Cave. Rosakun, I have the scroll of the Wet Bone Forest. It was given to me by Grandma Xiao, Karula. took out the contract scroll of the Wetbone Forest and handed it to Luo Sha. No, use the contract scroll from the Raichi Cave. The slug immortal is an object that can be won over. The slug has a very docile personality, and Luo Sha has a good impression of the slug. However, the white snake immortal has a perverse personality and regards human life as worthless. If Luo Sha wants to cause harm, he will first harm Longdi Cave. Luo Sha took out the contract scroll of Longji Cave and signed his name on it. Luo Sha injected a little chakra and used the summoning technique to summon a small red snake. Human, summon this snake. Before the little red snake could finish his words, he was picked up by Luo Sha. A blue light flashed in Luo Sha's eyes, giving the little red snake a mental hint. After returning to the Raichi Cave, use the psychic technique immediately. The little red snake's eyes became dull, and it was obviously controlled. After Luo Sha completed the mental suggestion, he transmitted the message to Mutuo mentally and told him the plan. Mutuo understood and immediately flew into the air to Luo Sha's side and entered the Master Ball. Roar! Don't go! Give me back the red orb! Groudon fell to the ground and roared angrily at Mutuo, flying away. More importantly, it only experienced floating for a few minutes, which was not enough. Groudon sat on the ground, hugging his knees with his paws, and his back looked quite bleak. Why didn't the creator god give it the ability to fly? It is really unreasonable that even Big Pet Carp can fly. After Luo Sha put away Mutuo, he put the little red snake back into the Raichi Cave. Luo Sha immediately bought a Master Ball from the System Mall, teleported to Groudon, and put Groudon into the ball. Groudon will resist, and the Master Ball can trap it for a maximum of 3 seconds. But enough. Feeling a pulling force, Luo Sha realized that the little red snake was communicating with him. Counter Spiritual Art. White Snake Immortal, MMP. Chapter 138. White Snake Immortal, Cyrillic letter Dare. Luo Sha's figure appeared in Longji Cave. The moment Rosa appeared, the Master Ball shattered and Groudon broke free from the Master Ball. Luo Sha picked up the little red snake, used his superpowers to float into the air, and arrived at the top of Longdi Cave. The sky of Longdi Cave is only more than 2,000 meters high. This is a special space. Looking down from the sky, Longdi Cave is a huge snake den, half forest and half building, and the whole thing is eerie. Luo Sha came to the sky and immediately released Mutuo and Rayquaza. Little red snake, what's your name? Luo Sha raised his hand and asked the little snake on his palm. My lord, my name is Xiao Ai. The little red snake curled its tail and said shyly. The little red snake has a childish female voice and is obviously a lolly snake. You'll follow me from now on. He was able to send Xiao Ai through spiritual communication, which meant that Xiao Ai and he were destined to be together. Xiao Ai is the main contributor to this incident, and Xiao Ai happens to be red, which suits his preference. Okay, thank you, sir. Xiao Ai nodded excitedly and wrapped her arm around Luo Sha's wrist like a bracelet, not moving. Luo Sha was chatting in the sky while the fighting had already started below. As soon as Groudon appeared, he alarmed the White Snake Immortal. The group of snakes also discovered Groudon. They mistook Groudon for an invader and attacked him one after another. What? A huge piece. This will be enough for me to eat for several months. A big black snake rushed towards Groudon, spitting out its tongue greedily. It has the combat power of a cage, and it never considered that it would be unable to defeat Groudon. The big black snake took the lead in the attack, and many snakes could not hold back and followed a big black snake to attack Groudon. Groudon had lost the enhancement of his divine duties and was in a bad mood. He was immediately angered by these snakes. Groudon blew out a smoke spray that covered an area of 100 meters, and flames started on the bodies of many snakes. The forest was instantly set on fire, and many small snakes in the back were scared away. The big black snake was not repelled by the smoke. It rushed to Groudon and opened its bloody mouth to bite Groudon. Groudon condensed the cliff sword and cut the big black snake into 2 pieces from the front with one sword. The big black snake's body, which was more than 30 meters long, was cut into 2 pieces. Blood spurted out, leaving a bloodline of more than 30 meters on the ground. The scene was quite spectacular. The shadow level was defeated in seconds. The snakes suddenly stopped, looked terrified, and turned around to flee. The 3 goddesses rushed over from the palace and wanted to provide support, but they happened to see this scene. They immediately became invisible and hid behind in fear. Only the great white snake immortal could deal with such a powerful creature. The 3 snakes went up to deliver food. The white snake immortal arrived shortly afterwards and just happened to see Groudon burning a group of snakes with fire. It can also smell the delicious meat. The white snake immortal stuck out his long tongue with a sinister look on his face. How dare you break into its base camp and kill its men, immortal. Technique, inorganic reincarnation. The fairy chakra flowed through the white snake immortal's body, and the entire forest seemed to come alive. The flowers, plants and trees turned into little green snakes and attacked Groudon. This is a technique that uses fairy chakra to give life to inorganic matter and control the densely packed green little snakes. Unafraid of life and death, attack Groudon like a green wave. Groudon stomped his foot on the ground and used mud shot. Groudon's mud shot was like a mudslide, causing the entire ground to shake. This oil around Groudon splashed outward in a 360 degrees angle without any blind spots, blocking the little green snake. Luo Sha was watching the battle from the sky, and the entire forest became a battlefield. Mud shooting broke the inorganic reincarnation. And Groudon's strength was obviously stronger than that of the white snake sage, but the white snake immortal didn't know that this was just Groudon's little trick. When the three goddesses saw the white snake immortal arrive at the battlefield, they finally dared to show their heads and join the battle. Immortal technique. The technique of Beiji. The white snake immortal opened his bloody mouth and spat out a long dragon made of white liquid, with a ball like a dragon ball in whose claws. The long white dragon kept spinning around the dragon ball at high speed, and the dragon ball burst out with a strong and dazzling light. The intense light completely enveloped Groudon. Groudon condensed a cliff sword and stabbed it straight at the dragon ball. Catcha! The sound of the sphere being cut was heard, and the cliff sword cut through the white energy technique. The white snake immortal's pupils constricted as he looked at the scene in disbelief. At this time, Jinruji went around behind Groudon, flew forward and bit Groudon's neck. Jinruji's teeth ached, but she didn't even break Groudon's skin. Groudon felt an itch on his neck, as if he had been bitten by a mosquito. Groudon casually slapped her neck like a person slapping a mosquito, knocking Jinruji unconscious. Jinruji transformed back into her true form, a large red snake. Groudon looked at Jinruji, who fell to the ground, and curiously picked up Jinruji, swung him, and started spinning in circles. Groudon becomes more and more addicted to spinning, and it finds a new weapon. Tanishima and Kakajima followed closely behind Churujiheim. When the two snakes saw Churujiheim's miserable end, they immediately stopped and dared not to move forward. The two snakes turned on their stealth and quietly slipped into the snake group. As for Jinruji, how can sisterhood be more important than one's life? They are snakes, and their cold-blooded nature is written into their DNA. Groudon played with Jinruji, grabbing the snake's tail and swinging it, using Jinruji as a whip. Snapped, snapped, snapped. Jinruji's face kept hitting the ground, making crisp sounds. Jinruji's teeth flew in the air, and in just 3 clicks she became a toothless snake. The two most important fangs could not be saved. Groudon was dancing happily and didn't notice that the white snake immortal had disappeared. The white snake sage came invisible behind Groudon and condensed the fairy chakra and poison on his fangs. It tried to kill Groudon with one blow. Even if it can't defeat Groudon, it will poison him to death. The white snake immortal found the right moment, rushed towards Groudon in an instant, and bit Groudon's neck. Groudon roared in pain, dropped the toy in his hand, and slapped the white snake immortal with both palms. The white snake immortal did not dodge, but instead tightly bound Groudon with his body, while at the same time biting Groudon and injecting poison into it. It will bite Groudon to death even though it is injured. But the white snake immortal overestimated his own defense and underestimated Groudon's physical damage. Groudon used the arm hammer in his right hand to hit the white snake immortal, causing the white snake immortal's scales to fly and blood to flow. The 6 paths level attack is simply not something the white snake immortal can resist. The white snake immortal nearly died from the pain on the spot and couldn't help but let go of his mouth. The sharp claws of Groudon's left hand pierced the white snake immortal and pinned him to the ground. Groudon was completely enraged. He stabbed the white snake immortal with his left hand, stepped on the white snake immortal with his left foot, and beat the white snake immortal hard. Groudon knew the essence of hit the snake in the face. The white snake immortal was beaten with bruises all over his head, and his teeth fell out piece by piece. If you keep hitting it, the snake will die. The white snake immortal used the snake shedding technique to shed his skin and escape far away, and his injuries were healed to their original state. However, the white snake immortal's teeth did not recover, leaving only a lonely left fang. The white snake immortal licked his left fang with his tongue in pain and looked at Groudon in fear. 6. Why doesn't Groudon have a seeking jade? The white snake immortal does not know the existence of Pokémon. In his opinion, the truth-seeking jade is the symbol of the 6 paths. Because Groudon doesn't have the truth-seeking jade, The White Snake Immortal thinks that Groudon only has the strength of a Super Shadow. The White Snake Immortal has been honing his skills at the peak of Super Shadow for 1,000 years and believes that he has reached the pinnacle of Super Shadow. It is confident that as a Super Shadow, no one can be its opponent but the Six Paths. The entire Longdi Cave is not enough to kill. The White Snake Immortal knew that he was no match for his opponent and was ready to run away. But it didn't show. It has many arrangements in the Dragon Cave, including treasures for transforming into dragon, and it has to take these with it before it can leave. It needs its people to help it delay Groudon. The White Snake Immortal used all his strength to activate the magic array and trap Groudon in place. Immortal technique, Dragon and Snake Illusion. A large formation enveloped the Longdi Cave, lighting up with white light. Longdi Cave is the base camp of the White Snake Immortal, so the White Snake Immortal naturally made some hidden moves. Groudon is controlled by illusion. The White Snake Immortal acted decisively and summoned the three goddesses to come and control the formation. Just now, Groudon threw Jinruji away casually. With the help of invisibility, Tianzin Shenji secretly pulled Jinruji back to the palace and gave her some simple treatment. At this moment, Jinruji was covered in wounds and couldn't even speak clearly. The whole snake was listless, but she had no problem using illusion. The White Snake Immortal instructed the three goddesses, "You lead the snake group to hold back this monster. I will go and activate the secret weapon of the Dragon Earth Cave." Without waiting for a response from the three people, the White Snake Immortal turned around and fled into the palace. The three goddesses looked at each other, gritted their teeth, and used illusions at the same time to strengthen their control over Groudon. The three goddesses used all their strength to activate the fairy chakra, and they no longer had the energy to maintain the transformation into human form, so they all turned back into snake form. Kakajima is a big white snake, Tanashima is a big green snake, and Suzumi is a big red snake. Luo Sha was watching the battlefield from the sky and immediately spotted the departing figure of the White Snake Immortal. "Mutuo, let's go find the White Snake Sage." Upon hearing this, Mutuo used instant movement to take Rasa and Rayquaza away from the side of the snakes and entered the Nest Palace. The palace was shrouded in darkness, with not a single ray of light coming in. A cold and damp atmosphere filled the air, making people feel a chill. The snakes gathered at the entrance of the palace. At this moment, there was no snake in the palace, so it was extremely quiet. Walking here, the footsteps are too obvious. Luo Sha used his superpowers to float himself, and the group flew deep into the palace. Chapter 139 White Snake Immortal, Don't I Have Any Face? The White Snake Immortal is packing his luggage in his bedroom at this moment. It has set up an ancient dragon transformation formation here, and all materials are ready, but the success rate of the dragon transformation is less than 20%. It lacks two crucial materials, the blood of a true dragon and the truth-seeking jade. Even if there is only one kind, the success rate of transforming into dragon can be increased by 30%. With both materials complete, it has a 100% chance of transforming into dragon. The White Snake Immortal kept picking at the various utensils and materials on the formation, and suddenly stopped. There's an intruder. Its perception is extremely sharp, and it can even sense the body temperature of living things from a distance. Snakes are cold-blooded animals and their body temperature changes with the environment. The arrival of Luo Sha and the other two could not be hidden from it at all. Damn it. How dare anyone break into Longdi Cave? Do you think I'm made of mud? The White Snake Immortal was angry. He had just suffered a defeat at the hands of Groudon, and his pride of 1,000 years had been crushed. It has been trying to break through the six paths for thousands of years, but has not been able to do so. How could that monster be able to break through the six paths? If I can't cure that monster, can I cure you three little bugs? The White Snake Immortal sensed that the three heat sources were getting closer, and instantly jumped out and pounced straight towards Luo Sha and the other two. Mutuo's psychic warning was extremely strong, and Mutuo was ready to fight back. The White Snake Immortal came flying like a flash of white lightning, but the next moment he flew backwards at an even faster speed than when he came. The White Snake Immortal hit the wall and the last tooth fell out of his mouth. A blue light flashed in Xiaoming's eyes, and his superpowers controlled the White Snake Immortal, making him unable to move. The White Snake Immortal's eyes widened and his face was full of disbelief. How come there is another Leodeo? Tisk, is this the legendary White Snake Immortal? His strength doesn't seem that great. Luo Sandfox, taking advantage of the tiger's might, happily floated over to the head of the White Snake Immortal and sat down. The White Snake Immortal's face was uncertain, but he adjusted his mentality in an instant. Human, What brings you to Longdi Cave? If you want to learn Sage Mode, Longdi Cave will definitely give you nothing. The White Snake Immortal's gentle voice was heard, sounding like an old woman. No, no, no. Do you think a Sage Mode can get rid of me? I want the entire Raichi Cave. Luo Sha floated in front of the White Snake Immortal and shook his finger. Human, I can't possibly agree to your request. Longdi Cave would rather perish than submit to you. The White Snake Immortal spoke calmly, as if stating a fact. Will the snakes in Longdi Cave be so loyal? After you die, won't it be enough for them to elect a new great immortal? Longdi Cave highly respects real dragons, right? What would the snake's reaction be if the Azure Dragon Immortal replaced the White Snake Immortal? The White Snake Immortal's expression did not change at all, and he said fearlessly, Longdi Cave is not as simple as you think. This space is bound to me. Once I die, Longdi Cave will no longer exist. Upon hearing this, Luo Sha narrowed his eyes slightly. He couldn't tell whether the White Snake Immortal's words were true or false. The White Snake Immortal has lived for at least 1,000 years. Its memory is too vast, and the risk of reading its memory is too great. Modifying memory is even more impossible, but there is no problem with the mental suggestion. Luo Sha turned and looked at Mutuo, who understood and used his supernatural powers to hypnotize the White Snake Sage. The White Snake Immortal felt something was wrong and struggled hard, but was held firmly in place by the superpower. At this moment, it couldn't even open its mouth. 5 minutes later, a roar of Groudon was heard outside the Dragon Cave. The illusion of the White Snake Immortal was broken and Groudon was out of control. At this moment, the White Snake Sage was finally controlled by Mutuo, and his eyes became empty. Is the space of Longdi Cave bound to you? Seeing this, Luo Sha immediately asked. No, it's this space orb. It's a treasure left over from ancient times. It can open up a space. Today, only the 3 holy places have the space orb. The White Snake Immortal took off the big bead on his hat and shed a layer of its outer shell. The big bead is just a protective shell, which contains a small bead and emits a crystal light. Do you have any extra space orbs? Luo Sha took the space orb and continued asking. I only have one, but the slug may have some extra space orbs. How can we help humans to activate the Sage Mode? Tell me everything about the Sage technique of the Raichi Cave. The methods for opening the Sage Mode in each Holy Land are different, but the essence is the same. First, you need to select a ninja with a high degree of compatibility and inject Sage Chakra into the ninja's body. The Sage Chakra must first pass through the navel and then flow to the whole body. The White Snake Immortal explained in detail the principles of the Immortal Mode. Chakra is composed of physical energy and spiritual energy. Ninjas need to balance these two energies before they can absorb natural energy. This is what is called the balance of yin and yang. Natural energy, physical energy and spiritual energy. When the 3 energies are balanced in a ratio of 1:1:1, fairy chakra can be condensed. Luo Sha was completely enlightened. He knew how humans learn the Sage Mode, and he also figured out the principle of how Pokémon learn the Sage Mode. The tailed beasts were created by the 6-path sage using the yin-yang release and the 10 tails. The tailed beasts themselves are special products of chakra. The tailed beast chakra is composed of physical energy and spiritual energy in a 1:1 ratio, which is a natural balance of yin and yang. This is why Pokémon can absorb the chakra of the tailed beasts but cannot absorb the chakra of the ninjas. The chakra in the dragon veins and the gray stone is also a chakra that is balanced between yin and yang. As for the potential requirement, it is the efficiency of chakra absorption. Individual values are linked to combat power. In fact, the essence of individual values is the Pokémon's use of energy. The higher the individual value of a Pokémon, the more efficient it will be in using its energy, making its skills more powerful and consuming less energy. Only when the individual value of a Pokémon reaches 3 volt can it absorb chakra efficiently, allowing natural energy and chakra to quickly reach a balance in a short period of time. Below 3 volt, Pokémon can only rely on perseverance, using perseverance to prolong the time of absorbing the chakra of the tailed beast, the Holy Land of the Spirits. I understand. Letting the tailed beast's chakra pass through the Pokémon's energy core and then flow to the entire body can increase the Pokémon's chances of activating Sage Mode. With the help of Viridian's power, the Pokémon with a 2 volt individual value can learn Sage Mode. Different elf races have different energy cores. But Luo Sha can communicate with elves, so it is not difficult for him to know the energy core of the elves. Like the Diamond Kingdom, Luo Sha can now be built into a Diamond Holy Land. As long as Diancie learns how to infuse ninjas with Senjutsu chakra, the Diamond Sanctuary will be worthy of its name. As for the World Tree, he can create 2 holy places, the Pillar Holy Land and the Dragon Holy Land. This trip to Longdi Cave solved the last problem of the Holy Land of Elves. Chapter 140 Longdi Cave changes owner. Outside the palace, the rumbling sound of fighting continued to be heard. Luo Sha ignored him and looked at the white snake immortal, and continued to ask, "What is the use of the beads around your neck?" "This is my Dansu. I have been trying to transform the Dansu into a dragon bead. Once I succeed, I will swallow the Dansu and I will be able to completely transform into a dragon." The white snake sage was controlled by Mutuo and revealed his biggest secret, "Danzu is your lifeline, right?" Luo Sha smiled brilliantly. He didn't expect that the white snake immortal had such a big weakness. "Yes, the Danzu condenses 90% of my energy. Once the Danzu is destroyed, my strength will be reduced to only 1/10. However, the Danzu is extremely strong. Only a 6th level attack can destroy it." After hearing what the white snake immortal said, Luo Sha used his superpowers to take the pill bead and put it into the space scroll. Seeing this, Chao Meng cancelled his control over the white snake sage. The white snake immortal looked dazed for a while before he realized what had happened. Even though the white snake immortal had cultivated himself for 1,000 years, he almost failed. It has already guessed Luo Sha's purpose. Luo Sha wants to take control of Longdi Cave, led Longdi Cave to submit to me. This is your only chance, Luo Sha looked directly into the eyes of the white snake immortal and said coldly, "We must be strict when dealing with Longdidong." Luo Sha was too familiar with the story of the farmer and the snake, and the white snake immortal was not a peaceful person either. The white snake immortal was silent for a while before he said, "Okay, but I need you to help me deal with the monster outside. Ryuchidong is no match for Groudon. I don't know how many snakes died outside." However, the white snake immortal did not feel sorry at all, as these subordinates were dispensable to it. It usually leaves the Longdi Cave to the 3 goddesses for management. What the white snake immortal was worried about was that Groudon would destroy its formation. Its dragon transformation formation has not been completed yet. Now that the Dansu has been snatched away by Luo Sha, it will be useless even if it takes down the formation. "No problem, Groudon, I'll take care of it." For Raichido, Groudon lost the 200% increase of its divine duty, and Mutuo's Mega Evolution was enough to defeat Groudon. Luo Sha used his superpowers to teleport everyone out of the palace. The white snake immortal glanced at Luo Sha secretly. It didn't expect that Luo Sha also knew the time and space ninjutsu. At this moment, the 3 goddesses were seriously injured, and the snakes were rushing to their deaths one after another. There were corpses lying on the ground. In just a few minutes of fighting, at least thousands of snakes died. The white snake immortal made a snake cry, and the snakes obeyed the call and stopped attacking Groudon, but gathered together. Mutuo evolves into its Y form and flies into the battlefield to engage Groudon. Just as Groudon breathed a sigh of relief, he saw a familiar white figure. Roar! Groudon roared, swung the cliff sword and rushed towards Mutuo. It was brought to the space by Mutuo, and was inexplicably attacked by a group of snakes. Feeling extremely aggrieved, it can't find its way back yet. Mutuo floated into the sky, and Groudon's cliff sword swung in vain. Groudon became even angrier, and with a whoosh, he began to attack from a distance with a cliff sword. Mutuo responded calmly and tripped Groudon with a grass knot. Next, Groudon enjoyed the whipping of grass knot again. The white snake immortal felt even worse as he looked at the crushing scene in front of him. It did not ask Luo Sha to return the Dansu because it knew it was impossible to get it back. It will be controlled by others in the future. The white snake immortal struggled between life and dignity, and finally chose to live. It also has a dream. It wants to turn into a dragon. There is a real dragon next to Luo Sha. This was the first time it was so close to its dream. How could it bear to die? This is the dream it has been pursuing for thousands of years. As long as I can transform into a dragon, what does it matter if I am controlled by others? What's more, Mutuo is too powerful and it has no power to resist. The white snake immortal made up his mind to be a good snake in the future, strive for credit, and transform into a dragon as soon as possible. "Sir, I know the location of Myaboku Mountain and Wetbone Forest, and I also know the weaknesses of the toad and the slug. Do you want to conquer the other 2 holy places? I can do it for you." The white snake immortal spit out its tongue and suddenly spoke, confusing Luo Sha. Luo Sha glanced at the white snake immortal and guessed his intention. The white snake immortal sold the other 2 holy places. What did he want? Seeing Luo Sha silent, the white snake immortal immediately thought of the key point and continued, I just hope that you can remember my kindness and help me turn into a real dragon in the future. As long as you behave yourself, I will help you transform into a dragon when the time is right. As for the other 2 holy places, I will take you with me when I take action." Luo Sha did not refuse and nodded in response. No matter how incompetent the white snake immortal is, he can still act as a guide and save Luo Sha a lot of effort, especially slugs. They are all clones. What should we do if they run away? The 3 goddesses behind the white snake immortal were all shocked at this moment. They felt like they were hallucinating. However, watching the battle between Mutuo and Groudon, they seemed to understand the attitude of the great sage. The battle in the field has reached its final moment, and Groudon is about to reach its limit under Mutuo's frequent attacks. Seeing this, Mutuo used his full strength to attack Groudon with his spirit, and Groudon fell to the ground completely. Rosa floated to Groudon's side and threw a Master Ball. The Master Ball dinged twice, and Groudon popped out of the ball. Seeing this, Luo Sha bought another Master Ball from the system wall and continued to capture monsters. It was not until the 5th Master Ball that Groudon completely lost the ability to struggle, and Rosa successfully subdued Groudon. New achievement, God of Earth. Congratulations to the host for taming Groudon and obtaining the skill, Cliff Sword. Cliff Sword, Groudon's exclusive skill. Once the host possesses this skill, he will be recognized by Groudon. When Rasa captured Rayquaza, he got the finishing touch, and Rayquaza gained the ability to Mega Evolve. Luo Sha didn't expect that the skills he obtained from taming Groudon could be used. Luo Sha stretched out his hand, and the Cliff Sword condensed in his hand, and he performed a few sword flowers with a hilt. Pretty handsome. Luo Sha carefully felt the Cliff Sword in his hand, and the energy contained in it exceeded that of a shadow level. Luo Sha looked at Mutuo. He needed to test its power. Mutuo understood and floated to the opposite side of Rosa. Using Hold On to block Rosa's attack, Luo Sha waved his hand and shot out the Cliff Sword, which collided with a barrier, making a loud roar. Luo Sha, the power of this move has reached the Super Shadow level. After hearing Mutuo's comments, Luo Sha couldn't help but smile. The Cliff Sword is an extremely powerful single-target attack that instantly makes up for his shortcomings. Now, his single-target attack has become an advantage. Rosa released Groudon from the Pokeball and fed it a Vitality Block. Vitality Blocks can save dying elves and restore their injuries, but it will not restore the spirit's energy. Groudon revived with full health, sat up from the ground and looked around. Groudon saw Luo Sha at first sight because the aura of Luo Sha was unusually friendly. Chapter 141 Land Cloud, Bangala Tribe. Grotto. My name is Luo Sha. Roar. Luo Sha uses telepathy to communicate with Groudon. Balabala, gibberish, macabre. Because the author wanted to be lazy, the two had an encrypted conversation. Perhaps it was the effect of the Cliff Sword, but at this moment Groudon was surprisingly calm and had a very friendly attitude. Luo Sha roughly understood Groudon's personality, which was just a stupid guy. He always speaks directly. Groudon perfectly fits the definition of a big, dumb guy. Rasa decided to keep the Crimson Orb for Groudon. After all, the ninja world could not stand the destruction of original Groudon. He had no plans for Groudon, and Groudon usually stayed underground in the Land of the End and slept. After Kyogre appears, the two Pokémons will stage a legendary scene for the ninja world, which will be quite exciting. After the two finished their encrypted conversation, Rosa put Groudon back into the Pokeball and sent it back to the ninja world. Grow, don't cause trouble in the ninja world. If you want to cause trouble, remember to report to me in advance. Can you find me? Luo Sha gave another reminder before leaving. Roar. Groudon nodded. Luo Sha had it sent on him, so it could easily find Luo Sha. Live your life well by yourself, and I will find a way to make you fly. Luo Sha waved and said goodbye to Groudon. As for the device that allows Groudon to fly, it is naturally Orochimaru's new mission. Orochimaru is a good brick and can be moved wherever he is needed. When Groudon heard the words fly, he was suddenly shocked. Groudon stopped walking, turned around and ran back to Luo Sha, and complained to him excitedly. Its arch-enemy, the big pet carp, can fly, so why can't it fly? Groudon complained about his suffering for more than an hour. From 10,000 years ago to 2,000 years ago, it's been so wronged in this life. Luo Sha scratched his head, suppressed the urge to run away, and listened to Groudon's complaints. Luo Sha rolled his eyes and looked like he had lost all hope in life since he became Groudon's trainer. It was his responsibility to guide Groudon's emotions. Groudon complained for 2 hours, finally telling all his grievances. He then urged Luo Sha to develop the flying equipment well before turning around and running away. Groudon's staggering figure is quite sad. Mutuo and Rayquaza were both silent. They had always thought that flying was a very common ability because they are born to fly. They indeed overlooked the fact that there was another mythical beast that did not have the ability to fly. Luo Sha did not return to Longdi Cave, because the Land Cloud and Bangalore tribes in the Endland have not been conquered yet. It would take him a long time to practice the Sage Mode in Raichi Cave. He had to arrange the affairs of the Sand Village first before he could go to Raichi Cave to learn the Sage Arts. Luo Sha soon met up with Jialuo and the other two, and the group headed straight for the Land Cloud. Mutuo's mental power launched a large-scale search, and the entire land of the End was within Mutuo's scanning range. Luo Sha found land clouds in the sky over a sand dune. The land cloud was lying beautifully in the sky, basking in the sun, when suddenly it was controlled by superpowers and fell rapidly from the sky. Land cloud was startled, his eyes widened, and he waved his hands desperately, trying to grab something to support himself. The land cloud kept pulling upwards, trying hard to fly. Mutuo sensed the resistance of Land Cloud and increased the output of his psychic abilities. Land clouds are falling faster. Land Cloud was knocked down by Mutuo in one fell swoop, and he touched the big bump on his head with tears in his eyes. It's too much of an insult to Yun. Luo Sha came on the scene at this moment, and used the power of Changpan to restore the big bump on Tu Dian's head, easily gaining Tu Dian's favor. Then, Luo Sha started to fool people. Although the three cloud gods are a little smarter than the three silly birds, their intelligence is limited. When the land cloud heard the words God of Fertility, it was dazzled and felt dizzy. Luo Sha had only fooled him halfway when the land cloud couldn't wait any longer and entered the Pokeball himself. Yikang, why does this scene look so familiar, Zhuanggaya? Are you so easy to deceive, Karula? Luckily, Isabuki, you are a smart beast. Luo Sha himself was too tired to complain. As he hadn't finished speaking yet, Luo Sha put Tu Dian's Pokeball on his waist. After returning to the Sand Village and activating the Sage Mode for Tu Dian, he put Tu Dian back to the land of ending. Luo Sha conquered Tu Dian, lighting up another achievement. New achievement, conquering the land cloud. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Seed of Fertility. One Seed of Fertility contains the power of abundance and can be used after the land cloud reaches the Super Shadow level. Luo Sha was stunned. He obtained the divine item by subduing the land cloud. What will you get for the achievement of 3 cloud gods? Luo Sha did not dwell on this issue, but immediately went to look for the Bangalore tribe. The number of Bangalore people in the land of End is not large, but it is far beyond Luo Sha's expectations. There are a total of 20 elves in the Bangalore tribe. Among them, there are 6 Bangaras, 7 Shakaras and 7 Yukiras. The Bangalore clan speaks based on strength, and whoever is the strongest is the boss. Chief Bangalore is at level 72. Has an individual value of 4 volt, and is very powerful, but Luo Sha's Bangalore has an individual value of 6 volt, and its combat power completely suppresses the Bangalore chief. Both Bangaras are battle-hardened elves with outstanding combat awareness, and the competition between the two sides is about combat effectiveness. Luo Sha's Bangalore easily defeated the Bangalore chief and became the new chief. The relocation of the Bangalore tribe was quickly prepared. There were 20 elves in total, so the relocation was very convenient. The treasures collected by the Bangaras are various minerals, which are very worthless in the Sand Village. The entire Wind Country's mineral veins nominally belong to the daimyo. The daimyo's things are the Tsunagakure's things. The Sand Village only needs to notify the daimyo and can mine minerals at will. Luo Sha has a space scroll filled with ore. All snacks for Bangula. Bangula has been a foodie since he was little, and he has not changed even when he grew up. Bangula's 3 meals are made of top-grade energy cubes, and his snacks are top-grade minerals. Bangira eats more snacks than 3 meals a day. The foodie nature of the Bangla is innate to the race, and the condition for their evolution is to eat a mountain empty without even saying a word. Luo Sha took out a bunch of precious minerals and made this group of foodies go crazy, especially the Kiras, who rushed over and started chewing the ore. This is much more delicious than the ore they collected. The Kiras were not shy at all. After eating, they pulled Luo Sha's trouser legs with their short hands and looked up at Luo Sha pitifully. They want more. Luo Sha possesses the power of Changpan, and as cubs, they are innocent by nature. Luo Sha also gave them such delicious food. They have been bribed as adult elves. The 6 Bangaras restrained their pace. But tears flowed down the corners of my mouth. The Shakaras had enough energy and were the calmest. They stared at the ore with eyes full of desire. An hour later, Luo Sha returned to the Sand Village with a basket containing 20 Pokeballs. Chapter 142 Arrangement, Shukaku returns. Luo Sha immediately settled the Bangalore people in the Dongsha Oasis. Dongsha Oasis is now the base of the flying troop. Only tropical dragons live there and it is very empty. Under the East Sand Oasis is Orochimaru's research base. Dongsha Oasis is just a small oasis. Luo Sha plans to build another oasis, Dongfang Oasis, on the edge of Dongsha Oasis after Yukang had assembled a team of fossil pterosaurs, Archaeopteryx, and desert dragonflies. He placed all the flying troops in the Dongfang Oasis. As for the East Sand Oasis, it was designated as a forbidden area of Tsunagakure. Dongsha Oasis will become the habitat of Bangira and the scientific research center of Sand Village. Luo Sha hired a group of retired ninjas to look after Bangira. Their task is to feed elf cubes to Bangira and count the number of elves every day to prevent any naughty Yukira from suddenly disappearing. Bangira can have fun as he pleases in the Kingdom of Wind, but he must return to the East Sand Oasis every night to count the number of people. There are no mineral veins near the Dongsha Oasis, so Bangira needs to dig hundreds of miles to get food. Therefore, Luo Sha also arranged for the Fire Camel Transportation Company to transport the ore. Because Yukira needed to accumulate energy for evolution, Tsunagakure sent a specialist to send Yukira to a mine, letting him eat as much as he wanted and sending him back when he was full. As a quasi-god Pokémon, it is very difficult to breed Bangla. With a number of these 20 Bangilas, it would take several years for an elf egg to be born. 100 years later, the number of elves in the Bangila tribe will not reach 100, and Sand Village can fully afford to support them. Luo Sha also placed Rajachukas, Rajilok, and Rajiskilu in Dongsha Oasis, and they were responsible for the defense here. The three pillars don't like to move, they are all Oticus, and are very suitable to guard this place. After the Bangila clan officially moved into the Sand Village, Shagu had a fierce battle with LV-72 Bangila. Instead of fighting in person, Shagu conducted a battle between elves. His ace Pokemon is LV-73 Steelix, which is slightly weaker than Bangila. However, Shaco and Steelix can Mega Evolve, and Mega Steelix's strength can be increased to LV-76. Steelix defeated Bangla at the cost of being seriously injured, and Shaku once again captured a shadow-level Pokemon. Upon seeing this, Luo Sha teleported to the Buddhist temple in the north of the Sand Village, found Finfuku, and pulled Finfuku to the East Sand Oasis. Finfu was used to this and believed that there must be another elf that needed to activate the Sage Mode. Little Shukaku was sleeping soundly on Fubuku's shoulder. A big bubble appeared on his nose, then quickly shrank back down, repeating this cycle over and over again. It was obvious that he was sleeping very soundly. Rasa picked up Shukaku's tail and began to shake it to wake him up. Shukaku opened his eyes blearily, and the first thing he saw was Rasa's jaw. It seems to be upside down. Shukaku lowered his gaze and saw Rasa's face. Ah! Why is it you again, you damned little devil? Shukaku was no longer sleepy and began to struggle hard. Luo Sha used his mental power to firmly fix Shukaku, and smiled brightly. Little raccoon cat, long time no see, I need your chakra again. Asshole, I won't give you chakra. I found out clearly that it was you who wrote in the Pokemon textbook that Shukaku has a bad temper and is far inferior to Isabu, and you still don't admit it. Shukaku waved his two little claws hard, but he couldn't scratch Rasa. Don't be so irritable. What I wrote is the truth. You and Kirama are indeed the two-tailed beasts with the worst tempers. Bullshit, Jiu Lama is much worse than me. All 8 of us were bullied by him in the past. Also, let me go. Shukaku was struggling upside down. He knew he couldn't break free, but he refused to give in. When it comes to being stubborn, even Jiu Lama can't compare to it. Well, just change your introduction back next time. Just tell me what you want to change it to. Luo Sha pretended to sigh helplessly. He only promised to change, but did not promise when. Really? You'd be so kind, Shukaku stopped struggling and stared at Rasa suspiciously. Rasa showed a harmless smile and stared at Shukaku. Shukaku is the most powerful of the 9-tailed beasts. He is the first tailed beast created by the Sage of 6 Paths and the elder brother of the other tailed beasts. Shukaku is unparalleled in wisdom and strength. He is good at magnetic escape, earth escape, wind escape, and sealing techniques. When Kirama bullied the other tailed beasts, Shukaku stood up. Shukaku immediately started making up stories, reciting a long string of them. Shukaku reads a lot of storybooks and can tell all kinds of stories at will, which has established a great and glorious image for himself. Shukaku was so excited that he even ignored the fact that it was still being held upside down by Rasa's tail. Shukaku talked non-stop for half an hour before he stopped. Teacher Shukaku, I didn't expect you to have such a high level of education. Rasa looked at Shukaku in surprise. He was indeed the most studious beast among the nine-tailed beasts. Shukaku has too little chakra and can only make up for it through acquired efforts. HMPH, Cap. Shukaku put his hands on his hips proudly, and suddenly found that he was still being held by Luo Sha. He immediately yelled, "Asshole! Why don't you put me down? Aren't your hands sore?" I was so absorbed in what I was listening to that I forgot. Rasa immediately let go, and Shukaku was caught off guard and fell to the ground. The raccoon cat fell to the ground with its head, and tears welled up in pain. Fenfu sat aside and chanted scriptures, ignoring the interference from the outside world. Rasa and Shukaku would quarrel every time they met, and Fubuku was used to it. Shukaku covered his head and climbed up, glaring at Rasa. "Even if it stars to death today, it will not help Luo Sha." Shukaku hid in Fubuku's robe and ignored Rasa. Cold War. "We must have a Cold War." Shukaku drew circles with his little paws and kept cursing Rasa in his heart. Fubuku's body trembled, and Shukaku drew circles on his chest, making him feel very ticklish. He is ticklish. The blessing was almost broken, and the Buddhist beads in his hand were spinning faster. At this time, Shagu brought Bangila to the crowd and rescued Fenfu. "Shukaku, please help me. My Bangla needs to activate Sage Mode." Shagu said kindly. Shukaku is now one of the 3 best villagers in Sunagakure, and last year he was elected champion in the voting for the most popular elf among villagers with a huge lead. Siddiq, who was ranked 2nd, ran home and cried in grievance. Siddiq is very popular among children, but unfortunately children do not have the right to vote. Shukaku appears in Sunagakure every day, and he also knows the ninjutsu of magnetic jutsu. In the hearts of adults, it is undoubtedly the number 1. There is no way. The status of magnetic release in the Sand Village is too special. Shagu is very satisfied with Shukaku now. It was he who gave Shukaku the award last year. Shukaku felt awkward for a moment when he heard Shaku's request, but he still poked his head out from Fubuku's robe and said proudly, "Okay, for your sake, I'll do you a favor. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels." Chapter 143, Diamond Holy Land. Bangila stood still. Shukaku began to transfer chakra, and Rasa transferred the power of Takuwa on the side. Luo Sha learned how to activate the Sage Mode from the White Snake Sage, and used the power of Changpan to guide the chakra to flow within Bangila's body. Bangila's aura became more and more powerful, while Shukaku became more and more weak. A mask appeared on Bangila's face, which was quite similar to the pattern on Shukaku's body. Sage Mode completed, Bangila's level increased by 3 levels, reaching LV 75. The first time Shukaku activated the Sage Mode for a shadow-level Pokémon, he deeply felt the sadness of having too little chakra. When Chongming activated the Sage Mode for Zapdos, it consumed about 70% of his chakra. Now it's on Shukaku, and there's almost not a drop left. The fat civet cat has obviously lost weight. A certain exhausted raccoon cat staggered and fell to the ground. Luo Sha rushed to Shukaku and shook him desperately. "Shukaku, what happened to you? If you are gone, what will happen to Sunagakure? My land cloud is still waiting for you." Shukaku looked like he had lost all hope in life. When he heard what Rasa said, he couldn't help but roll his eyes at Rasa. "Shukaku, can you absorb this stone?" A light bulb suddenly lit up in Rasa's head, and he took out the gray stone and handed it to Shukaku. Shukaku raised his head listlessly and glanced at the stone. "Huh? Is this a product of the 10 Tails?" Shukaku forced himself to take the gray stone. As Shukaku made contact, the gray stone suddenly shone with dazzling light. Immediately afterwards, a powerful chakra gushed out from the gray stone like a torrent, quickly spreading throughout Shukaku's body. Shukaku felt his body gradually regaining energy, and his originally shriveled body slowly swelled up, eventually returning to its original appearance. Shukaku burped in satisfaction, looking very full. The chakra of the gray stone was exhausted, and it shattered into countless small pieces with a bang and scattered on the ground. Shukaku regained his vitality, jumped up from the ground, and shook his 1,000-year-old cold legs. "Where did you get this stone, kid?" Shukaku looked excited. It found a way to increase its chakra. "I didn't expect that there are products containing the 10 Tails chakra in the ninja world. Well, why should I tell you? Call me brother first." Rasa crossed his arms across his chest, tilted his face and raised an eyebrow at Shukaku. Luo Sha is 13 years old this year and looks 90% like Rasa's expression that looked like he deserved a beating made Shukaku lose his temper. Shukaku clenched his fists and resisted the urge to punch Rasa so hard that his eyes turned black. It can't beat this little devil. It needs the little devil's help, Shukaku kept admonishing himself, and after staying in the sand village for a long time, his temper became much calmer. It was rare to see such a wonderful expression on Shukaku. So Luo Sha stopped teasing Shukaku and threw out a bunch of gray stones, saying, "Here, there are plenty of stones. I'll take you with me next time I go to the mine." "Humph, that's better. I'll let you go this time." Shukaku was dissatisfied with his integrity, so he put the gray stone into the space scroll and ran back to hide in Finfuku's clothes. "Alice, I used these stones to build tombs, but I didn't expect you needed them so much." Luo Sha muttered something in a mean way and left using instant teleportation. "Asshole." Shukaku gets angry and climbs out of his clothes and starts yelling, but there's no sign of Rasa. Why is this damn brat still so annoying? After bullying the raccoon cat, Luo Sha was in a good mood. He went home humming a little tune and enjoyed the massage service of Gardev where he has been busy for so long. What's wrong with enjoying himself? Luo Sha lay down for a few days with a clear conscience before taking to Dain to exploit Shukaku. Shukaku was crossing his legs on Fubuku's shoulders, reading a small picture book with fascination. Sensing Rasa's breath, Shukaku immediately jumped up and looked at Rasa vigilantly. There must be something bad happening when this little devil comes. Shukaku looked at the land cloud and prepared to control Luo Sha. Then, it was hung by Luo Sha on a crooked tree. Rasa gently poked Shukaku's round belly with his fingers. "How about I use the photo stone to record your current appearance and show it to Jiu Lama next time we meet?" "You're not going to be scared, are you? Are you really the shortest and weakest tailed beast?" "If Chongming can do it, you can't be unable to do it, right?" Luo Sha poked and sighed, and Shukaku finally succumbed to Luo Sha's mouth. Shukaku had just recovered for a few days and lost weight again. Fortunately, thanks to the gray stone, Shukaku was able to recover extremely quickly. Name land cloud, gender male, attribute ground, flying features, power of sand level, LV 80, individual, 4 volt, HP 31, attack 31, defense 23, special attack 31, special defense 23, speed 31, skills, hot sandstorm, earth fissure, reverse scale, earthquake, sandstorm, arm hammer, stone attack, divine power, power of the earth. The land cloud entered immortal mode, and facial mask patterns appeared on the clouds above its head. The clouds looked like dumplings, and with the patterns, the land cloud seemed to have turned into non-mainstream social guys. The level of the land cloud increased by 2 levels, reaching LV 80, but unfortunately it did not enter the super shadow level sequence. It's obviously stuck at a bottleneck. Luo Sha opened the hang-up panel in the system, put the dragon head hamster down on the hang-up bar, and placed the land cloud on it. "This year, we will keep land cloud idle to help it advance. To Dian, you can wander around freely, but remember to come back to the sand village when you break through. Land cloud is a cloud, with a casual and free-spirited temperament and likes to float around. Luo Sha will not confine the land cloud in the sand village, but will let it roam free outside as a foreign aid Pokemon of the sand village." Next, Luo Sha plans to take Shukaku to find Diancie and create a real holy land for elves. Although there are many Grell stones, they are a non-renewable resource. Shukaku's chakra is a renewable resource, so it is naturally more cost-effective to use Shukaku to help Diamond activate the Sage mode. As for Shukaku's opinion, Rasa agreed on Shukaku's behalf. Luo Sha is a man of action. After everything was prepared, he and Fubuku set out on the journey to the Diamond Kingdom. 3 days later, Diancie knew through the connection in the Pokemon Encyclopedia that Luo Sha was coming, and was waiting at the door early. The Diamond Kingdom has 2 small diamonds with an individual value of 3 volt, and their strength is at the level of Jonin. In addition, there are the Great Elder and the Second Elder, both of whom have individual values of 2 volt. They have extensive experience and their strength has reached the level of Elite Jonin. Luo Sha is 100% sure that he can help these 4 little diamonds activate the Sage mode. As for those 1 volt small diamonds, the important thing is participation. Rasa faced Shukaku's resentful look and squeezed him thoroughly. Although Shukaku is weak, he has no problem transmitting chakra to the 4 little diamonds. After Shukaku finished his delivery, he was out of action. Luo Sha looked at the 4 small diamonds with satisfaction and gave them names. The Great Elder's level has increased by 5 levels and is currently LV 70. known as the Red Diamond Immortal. The second Elder's level has also increased by 5 levels, and is currently LV68, known as the Orange Diamond Immortal. The levels of the 2 Jonin level small broken diamonds were increased by 6 levels, and they both entered the Elite Jonin level, known as the Yellow Diamond Sage and the Green Diamond Sage respectively. Dainzi is the Pink Diamond Immortal who rules over the Diamond Sanctuary. Chapter 144 Takawa, Sage Mode. After Shukaku completed the mission, he saw the Grail Mine. Shukaku looked at the huge mineral vein and twitched with excitement. It finally has a hope of surpassing Xiao Ai. Shukaku could no longer contain his excitement. He jumped up excitedly and rushed towards the ore as fast as he could. As soon as Shukaku landed, he couldn't wait to lie on the pile of ore, grabbed a piece of ore, and absorbed the chakra in it with all his strength. Hiccup after Shukaku sucked in 5 pieces of ores, he burped loudly. Shukaku picked up another gray stone, but was unable to absorb it its full. Its chakra amount previously was only 1/8 of that of Kirima, but now it has reached 6/8 of that of Kirima. It has increased 6-fold. Shukaku also knows various ninjutsu to save chakra consumption if a real fight breaks out. It can outlast Xiao Ai. It has gone from being the shortest beast to being the longest lasting. The gray stone is like an aphrodisiac for the tailed beasts, helping them to achieve a counterattack. But Shukaku still felt unhappy because his chakra amount did not exceed Kirima's. Shukaku dropped the ore in his hand and climbed out of the mine, looking at Shukaku's greasy face. Luo Sha pulled Shukaku to work again and activated the Sage Mode for the small diamonds with an individual value of 1 volt. There are quite a few small diamonds with an individual value of 1 volt, a total of 50. In 2 days, 50 small diamonds took turns trying. And only one small diamond persisted with its extraordinary perseverance and learned the Sage Mode. This little diamond's strength was promoted from Jonin to Elite Jonin, and he became the 5th sage of the Diamond Holy Land. Known as the Blue Diamond Sage, Luo Sha stayed in the Diamond Kingdom for a few days and transmitted the concept of the Holy Land to the 5 Diamond Immortals. The first is the Psychic Scroll. Elves that have activated the Sage Mode can sign a psychic contract. It is much more difficult for elves to learn ninjutsu than humans. Fortunately, the summoning technique is relatively simple. Luo Sha taught the summoning technique to 5 Diamond Immortals in 7 days. The summoning scroll is given to the Red Diamond Sage for Safeta keeping, and each generation of the Diamond Holy Land can select a suitable ninja as the successor to the Holy Land. The B-level position of the Holy Land cannot be lost. If everyone can sign it, it will just become an ordinary group of psychic beasts. The 3 holy places will only have 1 successor in each generation. This is the standard configuration of the holy places. Luo Sha taught Dainzi step by step and told her all the secrets of the White Snake Immortal. Dainzi's talent is very strong, and she quickly learned how to help humans activate Sage Mode. The Diamond Sanctuary's signature magic, Magic Diamond Storm, is the next difficult problem that Dainzi has to overcome. The Diamond Holy Land has obtained all the inheritance of Long D Cave, including all knowledge. Although the Diamond Holy Land has just been established, it has a profound foundation. Once the 5 Diamond Immortals break through to the Shadow level, it will even surpass the 3 major Holy Lands. Once the Diamond Sanctuary was established, Dainzi designated a successor. Karula and Dainzi are close because of jewelry design and have a lot of common topics. Karula possesses the secret art of sands manipulation and is good at earth-style chakra, which perfectly fits the rock system of the Diamond Sanctuary. Karula has never signed a summoning contract. Ever since she has an elf, she no longer has any need for a summoning beast. However, Karula would not be stupid enough to refuse Dainzi's spiritual contract. After Karula signed his name on the spiritual scroll, he became the first inheritor of the Diamond Holy Land. Karula stayed in the Diamond Sanctuary to learn the Diamond Sage Mode, which would take at least a year. Luo Sha and the other 2 did not stay any longer and returned to the Sand Village. After Luo Sha finished explaining the matters of the Sand Village, he immediately went to Raichi Cave to learn the Sage Mode. The White Snake Immortal personally taught Luo Sha, and the 3 goddesses assisted diligently. Raichido's arrogant attitude resulted in Orochimaru being unable to learn the fairy technique. Dao's talent and perseverance are so strong that he learned the magic by force. In fact, there is toad oil in Myaboku Mountain to help ninjas learn magic, and there are treasures in Raichi Cave to help ninjas learn magic. Snake Slough, the White Snake Immortal took out his own shed snake skin, which was the best material for Long D Cave. It's hard for Luo Sha to learn. Luo Sha possesses the power of Changpan and has great control over natural energy. The snake skin not only contains rich natural energy, but can also guide the natural energy in the air into Luo Sha's body. These natural energies bear the mark of Raichudo and can allow ninjas to learn Raichudo's Sage Mode. But the power of Changpan assimilated these natural energies. The power of Evergreen in his body continued to surge out and continued to grow at an astonishing rate at the same time. The power of Takuya and his chakra showed signs of merging. What he practiced was not Raichudo's Sage Mode, but his own Takuya Sage Mode. Time flies, and in the blink of an eye, a year has passed quietly. Luo Sha has completely transformed into an immortal. Instead of horns growing on his head, a golden ring appears, emitting special energy fluctuations. A green mask appeared on Luo Sha's face. He could not only use the Raichudo Senjutsu, but also the Takuya Senjutsu. Luo Sha clenched his fists, feeling as if he had endless energy in his body whose strength has reached the peak of Super Shadow level. The power of Takuya and chakra completely merged into new energy. Takuya sentence as long as he draws on Changpan's immortal power, he can instantly enter the immortal mode. His Sage Mode has no pre-swing. After saying goodbye to the White Snake Sage, Luo Sha returned to the Sand Village. Luo Sha did not stay in Raichi Cave all this year, but often used summoning techniques to return to the Sand Village and stay there for a while during this year. The ninja world has been developing in an orderly manner. The elf centers in the 8 major cities of the Kingdom of Wind have been established. The 8 provinces obtained from the Fire Nation are truly fertile, and the people have strong spending power. A spirit center was also established in each of the 8 provincial capitals in order to accelerate the development of the elf industry in the 8 provinces. Luo Sha placed 1 purple habitat, 4 blue habitats, and 20 green habitats in his backpack into the 8 provinces. The purple habitat is the Fengxin habitat, which relies on the grassland environment of the Fire Country and has Pokémon with 14 attributes. Except for water, ice, ground, and rock types, there are related Pokémon populations living in other attributes. The Overlord Pokémon is a LV68 Arcanine. Luo Sha finally waited for a group of Arcanines. This is the most orthodox elf in the police department. Yukang also has a Hurricane Dog, whose strength reaches LV57. Yukang's Arden was obtained by Luo Sha from the system. It has excellent talent and its individual value reaches the level of 3 volt. Luo Sha gave the task of capturing the group of Arcanines to Yukang. Yukang's own strength has reached the Quasi-Shadow level, and the power of Scorch Release, Nirvana, has even reached the Shadow level. Yukang's first main force Charizard reaches LV59, and after Mega Evolution, it can fight against a Lechonin. The 4 members of the team set out together, but only Yukang took action. Yukang often rushes to the front line to fight alone and rarely participates in Pokémon battles. However, Yukang's combat awareness was high enough, and she directed Charizard's battle without any mistakes throughout the process. Charizard took advantage of the sky and always had the upper hand. Its final attack, Earth Throw, successfully defeated the Overlord Windwind. Yukang successfully subdued the group of Arcanines. Chapter 145 Development of the Wind Country. The 4 blue habitats are West, East, North, and South. The strength of the strongest Pokémon in each habitat is between LV61 and LV63. In just 1 year, the 8 provinces developed rapidly. The people of the Fire Nation under the rule of Konoha were so envious of the rapid development of their neighboring countries that they almost cried. According to the current trend, 16 gyms will be born in the 16 cities of the Wind Kingdom in the future. The capitals of the 4 kingdoms, namely the River Kingdom, the Bear Kingdom, the Bird Kingdom, and the Rain Kingdom, also established elf centers. Including the 2 Pokémon centers in Sand Village and Mist Village, there are currently 22 Pokémon centers established in the ninja world. The trainer's certification is also on track, and this has to do with Orochimaru. It is impossible for every trainer to have a Pokémon dictionary. If you want to be a certified trainer, you need other proof. Orochimaru invented the Pokébelt for this purpose, which has 6 Pokéball slots. The Pokémon belt will record the trainer's name, identity, age, address, family, honors, and Pokémon owned. Each trainer can only carry 6 Pokémon. Once the number exceeds the limit, the Pokémon belt will sound an alarm. As expected, his Uncle Snake, Yides. The red phosphorus fruit ripens every 2 months. With the care of the 3 shrews and the Lottie Kappa, the red phosphorus fruit grows well. Nowadays, all Pokéballs are machine-made and there is no need for Luo Sha to purchase them from the system. The purchase price of an ordinary Pokéball is 400 taels, while the production cost is 200 taels. The purchase price of the Super Ball is 1,200 taels, while the production cost is 600 taels. The purchase price of a high-grade ball is 1,600 taels, While the production cost is 800 taels, the purchase price of the luxury ball is 2,000 taels. While the production cost is 1,000 taels in addition to Pokeballs, various potions have also been mass-produced by machines. Orochimaru cracked the formulas of all potions in half a year with the berries provided by Rasa. For Orochimaru, cracking the formulas of these potions was as easy as drinking water. As for the machines for mass production of medicines, it is quite easy. Orochimaru even felt that inventing such a machine was an insult to him. However, vitality blocks and vitality fragments, two items that can save dying Pokémons, have not yet been mass-produced. Vitality blocks and vitality fragments have a key herb, vitality grass. Shengji grass matures once a year and can only be cultivated in a sophisticated manner. It cannot be induced to grow quickly, resulting in failure in mass production. Orochimaru refused to believe in evil and started a fight with the life grass. Now Orochimaru is specializing in studying how to stimulate the growth of vitality grass. Luo Sha thinks that the Pokemon Cube is more important and hopes that Orochimaru will focus his research on the Pokemon Cube. As the number of trainers increases, the sales of Pokemon Cubes are increasing day by day. But Rasa will not interfere with Orochimaru's research. As long as the Sand Village is not demolished, Rasa is willing to cover for Orochimaru no matter how he makes trouble. This is his living benefactor. Today, on the east side of Dongsha Oasis stands a large factory equipped with various machines and equipment. The mechanized mass production of Pokeballs and potions is all carried out in this factory. Luo Sha's revenue increased significantly by reducing costs. The elf shop's net profit reaches 5 million taels every month. Combined with the profits from the elf company and the diamond company, Luo Sha can earn 10 billion taels a month. Luo Sha also has additional income. Xiao Ai endorses a diamond set every year and regularly cuts the leaks of the daimias, earning 25 billion taels at a time. There are now 100,000 trainers and more than 1 million trainers in the ninja world. As long as the number of trainers continues to grow, Rose's income will continue to rise. Orochimaru and Mutuo are two scientific research giants in Sunagakure. It turns out that technology is the primary productive force. Mutuo has studied with Orochimaru for more than a year and has strong scientific research capabilities. Mutuo was involved in the cracking and mass production of various elf potions. Jengar wanted to make a movie, and begged Mutuo to help it develop a movie machine. Jengar wants a large photo ball that can delete and save images and insert clips. Unfortunately, it is too difficult to develop it in a short period of time. After Luo Sha found out, he asked Mutuo to develop screen projection technology to project the small photo ball onto the large photo ball. As for the interspersed clips, many small photo balls are projected onto a large photo ball in turn according to pre-set order, thereby achieving screen switching and ultimately meeting Jengar's requirements. After the photo balls project their screens onto each other, many large photo balls can play movies. One movie can be watched on many photo balls, thus achieving mass production of movies. Ninja World version of movie technology is born. Jengar happily ran out of the Sand Village with a box of photo balls to shoot a movie. Rasa doesn't need guards now. After he learned the Sage Mode, no one in the ninja world can hurt him. Jengar's duty to protect Luo Sha is optional, so Luo Sha naturally strongly supports Jengar's dream of making a movie. The funds for Jengar's movie were all invested by Luo Sha, and Luo Sha was also looking forward to what Jengar could produce. After Mutuo developed the screen projection technology, he began to study the Pokemon Encyclopedia. The Pokemon Encyclopedia has functions such as video, voice recording, sensing, and Pokeball transmission. If Mutuo can be developed, it will greatly promote the development of the ninja world. In addition to technological advances, towns and cities are also developing rapidly. Large arenas have been built in Viridian Castle, Hulan Castle, and Nibi Castle specifically for Pokemon battles. Currently, only these three cities have reached 10 trainers. The three cities are ranked as Evergreen Castle, Hulan Castle, and Nibi Castle. Takawa Castle is too close to Sunagakure and has reaped all the benefits, and is known as the capital of the earth. Hulan City relies on the Hulan Canal and is known as the water capital in the desert. Nibe Castle is also very close to Sunagakure, but its geographical location is not as good as Takawa Castle, so it was overtaken by Hana Castle. But the city of Nibe also firmly sits on the third throne and is known as the City of Rock. The fourth-ranked town in the Kingdom of Wind is Honglian City. Next to Honglian City is a dead volcano called Honglian Volcano. Honglian City is also a famous town in the Kingdom of Wind. Relying on the hot springs on the Honglian volcano, it has become one of the tourist towns. However, after the Elf Hot Spring was established in the Sand Village, Honglian City suffered a severe impact and tourism revenue was more than halved. But Honglian City had no choice. No matter how hard Honglian City tried, it could not compete with the elf hot spring. But Honglian City is also one of the towns that benefited from the elves' dividends. The Red Lotus volcano is located on the edge of Fenkin's habitat, so various fire elves live in the Red Lotus volcano. The one who is close to the water gets the moon first. The trainers of Crimson Lotus City are blessed because they can avoid becoming the so-called insect catcher or fish catcher. What they caught were lava snails. The most common Pokemon in Crimson Volcano is lava snail, which is much stronger than Magikarp and Caterpillar. Honglian City has its own characteristics in one fell swoop, the City of Fire. With the help of Sand Village, Honglian Castle was listed as one of the 8 major cities in the Kingdom of Wind. In addition, a powerful fire trainer, Xiao Ai, appeared in Honglian City. Chapter 146 Red Lotus Xiao Ai. Xiao Ai's experience was quite legendary and became a topic of conversation among the residents of Honglian City. His stories can be heard on the streets, in bars and tea houses. Xiao Ai was originally a coal mine owner. He inherited his father's estate and owned several mines at home. Relying on the coal mine and his talent, Xiao Ai became a top trainer. The strongest elf group in the Red Lotus volcano is the Coal Turtles. The Coal Turtles originally had a small coal mine and lived a relatively comfortable life. But the coal in the coal mines was used up by them. Without coal, the Coal Turtles' quality of life dropped sharply and they were depressed every day. Xiao Ai accidentally discovered the Coal Turtles' obsession with coal, so he delivered coal to the mountain every day for the Coal Turtles to enjoy. Over time, more and more Coal Turtles were bribed by Xiao Ai and were willing to follow Xiao Ai and move to Xiao Ai's coal mine. The massive move of more than 130 Coal Turtles alarmed the entire Honglian City. Relying on the coal mine, Xiao Ai not only subdued the LV-52 Coal Turtle chief, but also formed a force, the Red Lotus Group. The Crimson Lotus only recruits fire-type trainers with outstanding talents, and once they join, they are not allowed to quit. But as long as you join, you can get a Coal Turtle. Xiao Ai recruited all the talented trainers in Honglian City, and the Honglian Group became the #1 force in Honglian City. Under Xiao Ai's outstanding leadership, the Red Lotus Group is flourishing. Xiao Ai himself possesses extraordinary talent as a trainer. He successfully captured 3 powerful Pokemon, Coal Turtle, Magma Snail, and Molten Anteater. Xiao Ai has been a trainer for 3 years, and Coal Turtle's strength has reached LV-62, breaking through the threshold of Elite Jonin. Lava Snail and Molten Ant also have the strength of a Jonin, LV-55 and LV-54 respectively. Xiao Ai has been paying attention to the news in the ninja world, looking for traces of powerful fire elves. After hearing the news about the completion of Fengxin Habitat, he immediately rushed to Fengxin Habitat with the members of the Red Lotus Group. Unfortunately, Windy Hound was beaten to it by someone else. Xiao Ai was not discouraged and continued searching for the fire elf. Fengxin's habitat is extremely large. Xiao Ai and his men searched for 2 months and finally captured the fire elf that satisfied him, the Charmeleon. On a dead volcano, a wild Rathalos does not have a lava amplifier and cannot evolve into a flame dragon as a purple quality Pokemon. The Rathalos has a small population of only 20 individuals. The strongest duck-billed fire dragon is stuck at the bottleneck of LV-60, which is enough to become Xiao Ai's second fighting force. Xiao Ai was attracted by the handsome appearance of the duck-billed fire dragon at first sight, so he immediately sent out the Coal Turtle to start a battle to capture it. The Coal Turtle constantly interfered with the duck-billed fire dragon's vision by spewing black smoke from behind. Then the Coal Turtle used Fire Abyss to attack the duck-billed fire dragon while blocking its movement, and ended the battle with a mount type. Pressing down, all 20 duck-billed fire dragons were subdued one by the members of the Red Lotus Group. And the Red Lotus Group's strength increased greatly after Xiao Ai subdued the duck-billed fire dragon. He did not leave, but continued searching on the volcano. There must be other fire-type elves in Fengxin's habitat. God helps those who work hard. Xiao Ai found another powerful elf, Carbon Mountain. The Coal Turtle was the first to discover the giant charcoal mountain. It thought it was a big piece of coal and ran over excitedly to dig it. As a result, the Coal Turtle woke up the giant charcoal mountain. The giant charcoal mountain slapped the Coal Turtle in the face, sending it flying. If it weren't for the Coal Turtle, Xiao Ai would never have discovered that this big piece of coal was actually an elf. Xiao Ai felt that giant charcoal mountain was his destined elf. Oh my, it smells even better than the duck-billed fire dragon. Xiao Ai was so sensitive about coal that he did not start a war to conquer it. Instead, he told Jotanshin that his family had many coal mines. When Jotanshin heard about the coal mine, He agreed to become Xiao Ai's elf without hesitation. The giant charcoal mountain stands alone on the volcano. It has always longed for companionship. Coal mine owner plus trainer, Xiao Ai is simply the perfect match for it. Xiao Ai doesn't have an elf encyclopedia, so he needs to understand the specific strength of giant carbon mountain through fighting. So he called the coal turtle and let the coal turtle fight against the giant coal mountain. The battle ended quickly, and the coal turtle was slapped away by the giant coal mountain. Again too strong, Xiao Ai was unsure of giant carbon mountain strength, so he rushed back to Honglian City with his men and went to the machine at the elf center for an assessment. Name: giant charcoal mountain. Gender: male. Attributes: rock, fire. Characteristic: flame. Body level: LV64. Skills: briefly, coal mine. The coal Pokémon is the evolved form of coal mine. It is usually gentle, but will become furious when humans destroy mines and burn them to ashes with a 1500-degree fire. He conquered the giant coal mountain, so he will have to dig one less coal mine in the future. Xiao Ai felt it was worth it. Xiao Ai happily took out Charmander's Pokeball and put it on the machine for strength assessment. He felt even happier when he saw the words LV60. He is definitely the best trainer among the people. Xiao Ai is filled with a burning desire to lead Honglian City to become the strongest and surpass Takuwa City. Xiao Ai evaluated the elf strength through the machine and naturally left a record. Xiao Ai's information was brought to Luo Sha the next day. It was really beyond Rasa's expectation that an elite Jonin-level trainer would appear among the people so quickly. There is no doubt that Xiao Ai is not only a lucky man, but also possesses great talents. Luo Sha personally summoned Xiao Ai, and the two had a brief chat about some things. Luo Sha used his superpowers to confirm that Xiao Ai was not lying. Xiao Ai's dream is to lead Honglian City to become bigger and stronger, and he hopes that the residents of Honglian City will live a prosperous and stable life. Integrity and responsibility. Luo Sha gave Xiao Ai the name Honglian Xiao Ai. Xiao Ai became famous overnight and became a name in the country of Wind Household. There are only 5 trainers in Crimson City, and it is not possible to build a large arena, but Honglian City was the first to own a gym. The Pokemon League has not yet been formed, and gyms are not yet responsible for issuing badges. The biggest role of the current gym is to protect the safety of the area and assist in managing local public security. If there are trainers in the area who harm Pokemon, the gym will be responsible for capturing them. Now the Sand Village ninjas are running around everywhere, catching criminals who harm elves, and they are already stretched to the limit. In the future, when there are more trainers and more criminals, the Sand Village will definitely not be able to catch them all. Therefore, the establishment of a dojo is imperative. In March of the 34th year of Sand Village, the first gym in the ninja world was officially established, Honglian Gym. Gym Master Xiao Ai. Gym attribute: fire. Representative Pokemon: Lava Turtle and Flame Dragon. Luo Sha took out a top-level lava amplifier from his backpack, allowing Xiao Ai's duck-billed fire dragon to evolve into duck-billed flame dragon. The duck-billed flame dragon broke through the bottleneck and reached LV62. At the same time, Xiao Ai also possessed the elf illustration book, which was a symbol of direct lineage. Only after he had the elf encyclopedia could he purchase various advanced items. The elf encyclopedia can record the contribution of its holder top-quality evolution stones, for example, are not sold at the Pokemon Center and can only be exchanged for contributions. The lava amplifier that Luo Sha gave to Xiao Ai is a top-level evolution item. The function that top-level props can demonstrate is the improvement of levels. The effect that cannot be reflected is the improvement of potential. The duck-billed flame dragon may have the potential to break through to the shadow level in the future. Because of Xiao Ai, Honglian City stood out and became the 4th city in the Kingdom of Wind. Honglian City has the best master among the people and also the first gym in the ninja world. Although the development of Gurren Castle is not as good as the 3 castles of Takuwa, its fame is more famous than the 3 castles of Takuwa. Xiao Ai successfully took Honglian City away. Chapter 147. Asuka Gym. Once the Honglian Gym was established, it triggered a chain reaction. There are now 2 leaders in Tagakashi Village, Guanjun and Ashu. The 2 of them had been bickering with each other for 4 years since they founded Toriagakure Village. In short, they were either arguing or fighting. Guanjun: Honglian City has built a gym. Should we build one too? Yazoo pushed open the door of Guanjun's office and walked in. Asshole, I've told you so many times, can you knock before coming in? Guanjun's hand shook while he was processing a document and he wrote the wrong word. Guanjun suddenly became furious. Shabby, did you knock on the door when you came to my office? Ishimaru was not afraid at all and started to fight back directly. Okay, Let me show you how I'm going to kill you today, Guan. Jun rolled up his sleeves and got to work. Come on, who's afraid of whom? Ashu also rolled up his sleeves and started fighting with Guan Jun. 10 minutes later, the two men with bruises on their heads were pulling each other's hair. Let go first. I'll count to 123, and we'll let go together. Walk slowly. 1, 2, 3, loosen. The two continued to pull, neither of them letting go. Asshole, you don't keep your word. Guan Jun was the first to start scolding. Shabby, you didn't loosen up either. Ashu was not willing to tolerate it and retorted, I'll count to 123. Whoever doesn't let go this time is my son. Row. 1, 2, 3, let go. The two were still pulling, neither of them letting go. After an hour, the two men, wrapped in bandages, sat on either side of the desk, staring at each other. I came to you this time because I plan to build a gym in the bird capital. Ashu opened his mouth with bared teeth, and the moment he spoke, his wound was affected, which hurt him so much. What about the gym leader? The Gurren gym leader is an elite Jonin level trainer. In the 4 years since the development of Taragakure village, there are only 2 elite Jonin. How can there be any geniuses in a village made up of a bunch of wandering ninjas? In 4 years, the 2 of them let people off the hook in the exams, and only then were there 4 Jonins and 4 special Jonins. The Hidden Bird village is very stable now, and it has the protection of the Zapdos. It only needs a leader. I will go. Ashu said softly that he had already made up his mind that he would become a gym leader. Okay, where do you plan to build the gym? Guan Jun's body stiffened for a moment. He didn't know why, but he felt a little sad. The Bird City. The gym has the duty to protect the Bird City. How can the daimyo not contribute? Ashu wanted to laugh evilly, but his wound got hurt and he couldn't laugh anymore. The daimyo of the Land of Birds funded them to set up a dojo, so they have to thank them. They built the gym in the bird capital for the daimyo's personal safety. The name of the bird country, haha. The gym is called a Suka Gym, which represents the flying attribute, and the representatives are the elves Pidgeot and the warrior eagle, Assyria's first main force was Pidgeot, and the second main force was the warrior eagle. Ashu and Guan Jun have not declined in their own strength in the past 2 years. Their ninja strength has reached its limit, but their elf strength still has a lot of room for improvement. As both are leaders of the Toguri village, they can split up and act separately, with one managing the village and the other going out to capture elves. Every time a new habitat was established, the 2 of them never missed it. 3 years ago, the 2 of them were capturing elves in the Zinkian and Zinkin habitats of the Bear Kingdom, and the team was already full. Assyria, LV-65 Pidgeot, LV-62 Warrior Eagle, LV-61 King Swallow, LV-55 Fiery Eagle, LV-55 Steel Crow, LV-52 Proud Pheasant, Female Guan Jun, LV-64 Toucan, LV-63 Crowhead, LV-60 Mkohawk, LV-59 Wrestling Eagle, LV-53 Night Owl, LV-52 Proud Pheasant, male. Both of them are flying type enthusiasts, and their entire lineup is made up of flying type Pokemon. They were originally ninjas from Sunagakure. After they came out and established Taragakure village, they became higher-ranking officials of Sunagakure, and their status was equivalent to that of ministers. Have the information channels and resource support of Sunagakure, and the strength of their Pokémons has improved by leaps and bounds, making them more than qualified to become gym masters. Let's send a request to Lord Rasa to build a gym. Guan Jun's voice was a little hoarse, and he suddenly felt like crying. No one would argue with him anymore, and he wanted to manage the village by himself. It is good. For some reason, Ashu felt a little reluctant. The 2 had a grudge against each other when they first met. Guan Jun revealed that Assyria had a spiritual beast, the desert rat, which caused Assyria to lose the qualification to be the first batch to obtain elves. Later, an Assyrian desert rat accidentally fell into the pot and was eaten by Guan Jun. The village compensated them with a Pokemon egg each. Pidgeot and Toucan. For some reason, the Pidgeot and the Toucan fought every day and became a pair of enemies. Later, they were assigned to the Land of Birds together, recruited wandering ninjas together, and established a hidden bird village together. It has been more than 4 years now. Ashu couldn't help but recall the past 4 years, and his eyes gradually became moist. But Guan Jun was sitting opposite him, and Ashu showed weakness in front of Guan Jun and immediately suppressed his emotions. Ashu took out the Pokemon encyclopedia and sent a request to Luo Sha to build a gym. Assyria soon received a reply saying approved. Well, I am also doing this for the development of the Torii village. When I have a successor, I will hand over the gym to my disciples and return to continue to be the leader of the Torii village. Yashu patted Guanjun on the shoulder, then stood up and left. Guanjun still had a bandage on his shoulder, and the wound was painful from being hit by Yashu. However, Guanjun did not show it. Instead, he waited until Yashu left before revealing a grinning expression. "Asshole, there will always be two leaders in the Tagakure village." Guanjun groaned and his vision gradually became blurred. The next day, Yashu packed his luggage and left Tagakure village. Yashu and Guanjun jointly managed Torii village. They naturally want to develop Torii village better. However, although the economy of Tagakure village was booming, its strength was stagnant. There really aren't that many talented people among ninjas. I can't even find a good trainer. Therefore, Yashu decided to look for talented trainers among the people. If the Tagakure village wants to become stronger, the right way is to recruit trainers as much as possible only by developing on two fronts, namely as a trainer and as a trainer. Can Tagakashi have room for further improvement? Establishing the Asuka Gym is a plan that Yashu has considered for a long time. Through the Asuka Gym, he can recruit gym apprentices across the country and select outstanding trainers. These trainers will be absorbed by the Tagakure village and become villagers of the Tagakure village. Because they are not ninjas, they cannot join the ninja village as ninjas trainers, but can only join as villagers. The Hidden Bird village has two important talent training bases, the gym and the Pokemon school. Trainers will become the backbone of the Hidden Bird village. When Usher arrived at the Bird City, Prime Minister Zhuang Xian and many ministers were already waiting at the city gate. When Zhuang Xian saw Yashu, he immediately ran forward, took Yashu's bag, bowed respectfully and said, "Lord Yashu, welcome to the Bird City. Lord Guanjun has already informed me of your plan to build the Asuka Gym. I have gathered all the craftsmen in the city to build the Asuka Gym. It will be built in 2 months at most, then I'll trouble Prime Minister Zhuang Xian. Why don't you stay in my residence for the next 2 months? No need, I can just stay at the hotel. If you have any instructions, please tell me directly and I will do my best." If the daimyo of the land of birds were here, he would probably be so angry that he would vomit blood. Zhuang Xian has clung to the thigh of Tagakure village, which is in turn clung to the golden thigh of Sand village. Now Zhuang Xian can get whatever he wants in the bird kingdom, and the daimyo have become his puppets. He called a horse a deer in the court, and even the famous people had to applaud and agree. The daimyo of the bird country is now afraid that he will end up like the daimyo of the river country, so he is very tolerant of Zhuang Xian. He was just a fool daimyo who had no idea how to break the situation, so he gave up, lived a life of drunkenness and left all government affairs to Zhuang Xian. The prime minister was regent, and Zhuang Xian gave himself the title of regent. Zhuang Xian always held his head high in front of the daimyo of the country of birds, and even brought his guards with him to court. Zhuang Xian knew who the source of all his power was. Now that Yashu has come to the bird city, he must serve Guanjun well. He still has room for improvement. If he wants to become the new daimyo, he must get the support of the Sand village. A flash of ambition appeared in Zhuang Xian's eyes, and he became more attentive to Usher. Yashu stayed in the hotel for a month, and the Asuka Gym was completed ahead of schedule. Usher immediately moved in, and the second gym in the ninja world, Asuka Gym, was officially established. The name of Asuka Usher spread throughout the ninja world. Chapter 148, Hoheidakan. The establishment of the Red Lotus Gym also surprised Nami. During this period, she focused all her energy on the river and sea elf school. As the Pope of the River God cult, Nami cares deeply about the River Kingdom. She knew about Luo Sha's Pokemon Alliance plan, but she didn't expect the gym to appear so soon. After Nami handed over the affairs of Sunagakure to her subordinates, she arrived at the river city within half a day via the Hulan Canal. The River God cult is divided into a 7-level system consisting of the Pope, Archbishop, Bishop, Priest, Monk, and Believer. All positions above the rank of priest are held by Sunagakure ninjas. The Sand Village has completely taken control of the river country. Nami is the supreme pope and Melodic is the incarnation of the river god. Orange Juro and River Toby are archbishops. Orange Juro manages the river god church, and River Toby manages the river kingdom. The 4 great bishops and 8 great priests are all Sunagakure ninjas. Residents of the river kingdom can only hold 3 positions: priests, monks, and believers. The river god cult is very wealthy, and Nami used all of its wealth to develop the river kingdom. Under the leadership of the river god cult, the river kingdom already has 13 trainers. Among them, the number of trainers in River City reached 8. Although the river god cult is powerful, it lacks high-end combat power. Nami was frantic to discover that she had no suitable candidate for gym master. She has 2 jobs herself and has no time to manage the gym. Besides, it would be too shameful for the Pope to become a gym trainer. In the river god cult, only Orange Juro is qualified to be a gym leader. However, Orange Juro's main Pokemon are Scorpio and Atoda, which do not conform to the attributes of the Kokado gym. The River Kingdom most admires water elves in order to be worthy of the status of Archbishop. Orange Juro exchanged contribution points for an Ammonite Pokemon egg in the Sand Village 3 years ago. Ammonite has evolved into Seralia, reaching level LV52. In addition to the Ammonite, Orange Juro also captured 3 water-type Pokemon in the river and sea habitats, namely Catfish King, Rib Turtle and Sun Coral. Although Orange Juro appears to be a water-type trainer, he is actually a rock-type trainer. Another Archbishop, Hefei, is the daimyo of the River Kingdom, but he has no power at all. The 4 bishops are all at the level of Jonin. If they were elite Jonin, they would not still be stuck in the position of bishop. After much deliberation, Nami finally chose Orange Juro as the gym leader. When Changjuro received the task, he was completely confused. He is Mingji's successor, and he is the next Kazekage chief of staff. He came to the River God sect because of Luo Sha's order. He had only planned to serve as the archbishop for a period of time and then return to the Sand Village, but in the end he couldn't go back. He suspected that Luo Sha had forgotten him. Now, all the duties of the River God cult fell on him, and he couldn't get away at all. Changjuro tried to train a successor to take his place and manage the River God cult for him. Then, he can go back to Sunagakure. Changjuro actually found a good candidate. Mikuri is a student at the River and Sea Elf School. She has excellent grades and is kind-hearted. She once rescued a Chouchou fish at the beach. The Chouchou fish was grateful and took the initiative to follow Mikuri. Although the clownfish is very ugly, Mikuri does not dislike it. Others mock Mikuri for taming the ugliest elf in the world, but Mikuri ignored them. Mikuri told Ugly Fish that there are no ugly elves in the world, only ugly hearts. As long as the heart is beautiful, then the clownfish is the most beautiful creature in the world. In her eyes, the JoJo fish is the most beautiful. The clownish was moved by Mikuri's words, and a dazzling white light emanated from its body. Under Mikuri's incredulous gaze, it evolved into Melodic, River God. In the River Kingdom, Minas is the incarnation of the River God. The news about Mikuri spread quickly in the River Kingdom, and the River God cult soon noticed Mikuri. Although Mikuri had no talent for ninja, Orange Juro still personally accepted her as his disciple and named her the saint of the River God cult because he couldn't find anyone in the River Kingdom with better talent than Mikuri. With the support of the River God cult, Mikuri became a Jonin level trainer in 3 years and was the first genius to rise in the River Kingdom. Next, these 6 Pokemon are LV55 Melodic, LV52 Polymer, LV49 Rakuten, LV47 Kingfisher, LV45 Direct, and LV41 Ammonite. Mikuri's rapid growth makes Changjuro very happy. Orange Juro saw hope of returning to the Sand Village. He was finally about to escape from the River Kingdom, but he was assigned a new mission. Orange Juro finally agreed to Nami's request and tearfully became the gym leader of the Koke Gym because Orange Juro also didn't want the River Kingdom to be surpassed by the Bird Kingdom. So, Changjuro informed Kotobi and started construction of the gym. The Hokkaido gym was not built in Hohei City, but in the river capital. Thanks to its superior geographical location, Hohei City already has the Hohei Elf School. Because the school is located in Hohei City, it is more convenient for students to capture elves and gain practical experience. But Hohei City has just started to develop, and there are only more than 1 trainers compared to the more than 8 trainers in River City. River City is really shabby. Therefore, the final location of the gym was decided on the River City. Hefan is a loyal supporter of the Sand Village. The Sand Village is willing to build a gym in the river capital, which shows that the Sand Village values the river country. Hefei spent a large amount of money to hire the Sand Village's construction company, Laojiang Construction, to build a gym covering an area of more than 100 acres. When Changjuro found out, he stopped the plan in time. However, when the gym was finally completed, it was still very large, covering an area of 60 acres, 1 mu equals 666.67 square meters. The construction of the Hokkei Gym took 3 months, so it was established later than the Asuka Gym. However, the B level of the Hokkei Gym is high. The Gurren Gym and the Asuka Gym are not as large as the Hokkei Gym. The master of the Kawaii Gym is the Archbishop of the River God religion, which makes the Kawaii Gym a deity in the River Kingdom. June 34th, the 6th year of Sunagakure, The day when Kakaitakan opened, Hefei brought civil and military officials to the scene to celebrate for the Heiheideo when Hefei publicly issued an edict that the River Kingdom would have a 3-day holiday and designated June 6th as River and Sea Day every year. On River and Sea Day, the whole country has a 3-day holiday. There was great joy in the River Kingdom. After all, who doesn't like a holiday? After the opening of the Heihei Dojo, all the young people of the River Kingdom came to sign up. Hoping to become apprentices of the dojo, Changjuro selected 1,000 people to become apprentices in the gym and gave each apprentice a long-winged gull. As Orange Juro was busy with his work, he did not stay in the Kokaido gym, but instead handed the management of the Kokaido gym over to Mikri. As a Jonin-level trainer, Mikri is still qualified to temporarily take over the position of gym leader. The third gym in the ninja world, Kolkei Gym, is officially established. Gym Master, Orange Juro interim gym leader, Mikri representative attribute, Water System representative Pokemon, Ammonite and Melodic. Chapter 149, Star Bear Gym. Bear Country, Star Hidden Village, Big Bear, Second Bear, Third Bear, Bear Dog Egg, Bear Fried Egg, Bear Cheddon, Hiruluk. Paced back and forth in the office, constantly repeating the name of the ninja from the Hidden Star Village. He plans to build a gym in the Bear capital and is thinking about which ninja would be suitable to be the gym master. Originally, he didn't take the establishment of Honglian Gym seriously. However, the news that the Hohei Gym and Asuka Gym were under construction made him instantly alert. As brothers of the Sand Village, the River Kingdom and the Bird Kingdom are currently building gyms, so how can the Bear Kingdom fall behind? As the leader of the Hidden Star Village, Hiruluk is very concerned about the situation in the ninja world. He sensed something was wrong. The Red Lotus Gym was approved by Luo Sha, so he could understand that, but it is very unreasonable that Toregi Village and the River God cult followed suit so quickly. This shows that the role of the gym is definitely not just to protect the safety of the town. After realizing this, Hiruluk immediately contacted Luo Sha and asked to build a gym. Luo Sha did not refuse and informed Hiruluk of the details of the gym. As long as the requirements are met, the Bear Country can build a gym. The Hidden Star Village owns the Big Milk Tank Ranch and the 3B Forest, and the milk and honey produced are sold well in the ninja world. The Zingain Village handed over 70% of its profits to the Sand Village, and the remaining 30% was enough for the development of the Zingain Village. Because the Hidden Star Village is just a small ninja village with less than 1,000 ninjas. However, Zingain has an elf school, and the number of villagers will be able to grow rapidly in the future. The Zingain Elf School is not large and enrolls 500 students. Every year each graduate will receive a snake pattern bear. Graduates ranked 4th to 10th can choose a Big Milk Tank or 3Bs. Although Miltank and Tribeca seem common, they are actually blue quality Pokemon. Miltank's racial stat is 490, and Queen Bee's racial stat is 474. For novice trainers, they are already excellent starting Pokemon. The top 3 graduates can choose a Naughty Panda or Bear Doll. The Hidden Star Village is located in the country of bears, and its biggest feature is bear Pokemon. In the country of little bears, there are 2 purple habitats, Zinkian and Zinkin. The Hidden Star Village reaped the benefits and has developed rapidly in the past 3 years. It now has 6 elite Jonins, 30 Jonins, and 90 special Jonins. The Hidden Star Village has always pursued elite education, resulting in the fact that although the number of Hidden Star Village ninjas is small, they are powerful. The main Pokemon of most Star Hidden ninjas are the 3 blue quality Pokemon, Tyrannosaurus, Baronsuit, and Tripillotail. There are 6 elite Jonin, and their main forces are the 2 purple quality Pokemon, Ursa Major and Ursa Major. There are 6 elite Jonin in the Hidden Star Village, but Hiruluk is still worried about the selection of gym masters because each of the 6 elite Jonin of Zingain has only 1 Pokemon that is at the level of an elite Jonin. If they become gym leaders, the Star Bear Gym will inherently lag behind other gyms. Hiruluk sat down on the chair and took a sip of tea. In the entire Star Hidden Village, he is currently the only one qualified to be the gym master. But as the leader of the Hidden Star Village, he cannot stay in the Bear City. Besides, he is a veteran deer Pokemon. His current elves are LV57 Weird Horn Deer, LV54 Sprouting Deer, Spring, LV53 Sprouting Deer, Summer, LV52 Sprouting Deer, Autumn, LV51 Sprouting Deer, Winter, LV67 Circle Bear, LV66 Circle Bear, LV50 Circle Bear. The 3 Circle Bears were the fruity bears that he had tricked into coming to the Hidden Star Village with honey. Hiruluk put down his teacup and smiled. He suddenly thought of a good idea. His right and left hands jointly became gym leaders. His right and left hands are Shangda and Schwanger, both of whom are crazy bear lovers. Big Bear and Little Bear are brothers, but they have very different personalities. Big Bear is calm and smart, while Second Bear is reckless and stupid. The two elves are exactly the same, namely Circle Bear, Blocking Bear, Naughty Panda, Wearing Bear, Tree Pillow Tail Bear, and Straight Bear. The first main force of Bear is LV64 Circle Bear, and the first main force of Bear is LV63 Blocking Bear. Big Bear and Little Bear have a strong ability to cooperate in combat. If they become gym masters together, the Star Bear Gym can conduct 2v2 battles. As the first gym for 2v2 battles, Xingqian Gym will be extremely special and attract more people's attention. Zaluluk no longer hesitated and immediately handed the tasks to Shuangda and Shang'er. After receiving the task, the two left Xingqian village the next morning and set off for the bear capital, where they paid a friendly visit to the daimyo of the bear country. When the famous bear king, Bald Kayang, saw Big Bear and Little Bear coming, he was so scared that he fell off his chair. Isn't this here to assassinate him? Bald Kayang made a sliding tackle, then knelt on the ground and begged for mercy, crying and sobbing. It was not until Shuangda explained the whole story that Guang Tao Kayang breathed a sigh of relief. Bald Kayang supported himself on the ground with his hands and stood up tremblingly, with an expression of having survived a disaster on his face. Although the Bear City will be under the control of the Hidden Star Village in the future, it is better than losing your life for the sake of his own life. Bald Kayang immediately dispatched a large number of craftsmen to build the Star Bear Gym overnight. The Xingqian Gym covers an area of 30 acres and is located in the central square of the Bear City. There are two lifelike statues at the entrance of the Xingqian Gym. One is a stone sculpture of a circle bear, and the other is a stone sculpture of a blocking bear. The architectural style of the entire dojo is mainly brown and white, which looks simple and grand. The brown walls and roof reveal a simple and rustic atmosphere, while the white doors, windows and decorative lines add a touch of freshness and elegance. This color combination is neither too monotonous nor too boring, and makes people feel the stability and solemnity of the dojo. On June 34th of the 6th year of Tsunagakure, the day when the Xingqian Gym opened, Bald Kayang imitated Ifei and personally went to the scene to support the event. Bald Kayang designated June 6th of each year as Star Bear Day, and the whole country has a 5-day holiday in order to suppress Ifei. Bald Kayang deliberately increased the rest days by 2 days. The 5-day rest period earned Bald Kayang a good reputation as a virtuous person. All the people in the Bear Country are grateful to Bald Kayang and the Star Bear Gym. However, Ifei was extremely unhappy about this, and felt as disgusted as if he had eaten a fly. Bald Kayang is just an imitator, yet he dares to suppress him. Ifei immediately dispatched a diplomatic team and began to throw dirty water on the Bear Country. The Bear Country immediately launched a counterattack, and a vigorous war of words broke out between the two countries, from the official to the civilian level. As a result, the Bear Kingdom and the River Kingdom became enemies, and relations between the two countries deteriorated sharply. The Hashiguma Gym was established only 9 days later than the Hokkei Gym, but its fame is just as great as that of the Hokkei Gym. The Hashiguma Gym has 2 gym masters, which is the first time in the ninja world and has therefore sparked widespread discussion. The Star Bear Gym is endorsed by the daimyo and the Hidden Star Village, attracting the attention of all the people in the Bear Country. All the young people of appropriate age in the Bear Country submitted their registration forms to the Star Bear Gym. After rigorous testing, the Xingqian Gym recruited 500 apprentices. Big Bear had already made preparations and gave each person a snake-patterned bear. The Star Bear Gym not only has to take on the responsibility of guarding the Bear City, but also has to capture criminals in the Bear Country. In particular, criminals who violate the elf protection law are their primary targets. Therefore, it is very important to ensure that every apprentice has combat effectiveness. The 4th gym in the ninja world, Hashiguma Gym, is officially established. Gym Masters, Big Bear and Little Bear representative attributes, General Representative Elves, Circle Bear and Blocking Bear. Chapter 150 Elf Family. Led by the Kingdom of Wind, in just half a year, 4 gyms with different styles and characteristics emerged like mushrooms after rain. The gym officially stepped onto the stage of the ninja world after Rasa returned to the Sands Village from Raichi Cave. His shadow clone, Rasa, moved into the Kazekage building to assist Shagu in handling affairs. 7 years have passed since Luo Sha first summoned a spirit at the age of 6. During these 7 years, the major ninja clans in the Sands Village showed a trend of becoming elf families. Except for the Kazuchi clan, who possess the secret technique of sands manipulation, the other ninja clans in the Sands Village do not have any bloodline or secret techniques. Now, these ninjas have the elf secret book, The family was the first elf family and was called the Nido family. Duofu specializes in studying the Nido clan and created the Nido cultivation secrets 3 years ago. The Nido King and Nido Queen, trained by many companies, are very powerful, especially their poison skills, which are far more powerful than their peers. The Nidoran and Nidoran bred by multiple companies have better talents. Nido King and Nido Queen are the standard equipment of the puppet master. Nowadays, half of the puppeteers' elves come from multiple companies, which leads to the extremely high reputation of multiple companies among the puppeteer community. Duofu's status in the Sands village soared like a rocket, and Duofu was also respected as Master Duofu by many puppet masters. Duofu established his authoritative position in the Nido tribe in one fell swoop as the captain of Venusaur's army. Duofu has turned his attention to Venusaur, but other people in the family are still focusing on training the Nido clan. In fact, Duofu had long discovered that elves have different talents. Nido King and Nido Queen have the strength of elite Chunin, and they will encounter bottlenecks when breaking through to special Jonin, and Venusaur can easily reach the strength of a special Jonin. It was because Duofu discovered this secret that he turned his attention to studying Venusaur. After 3 years, Duofu finally wrote the secrets of Bulbasaur training. The growth rate of Venusaur's troops far exceeds that of Scorpio's troops next door, which is the best proof of the significant effect of this cheat book. Duofu has made some achievements in the field of Venusaur, and his wife Lala is no less accomplished. Lala led many concubines to continue to cultivate the Nido clan, and created the Nido potential enhancement method and the Nido birth stimulation method. Many families built a base in the Nido habitat of the Sand village, specifically for the breeding and training of the Nido clan. Because Nido King and Nido Queen cannot reproduce, Nido base only has the first form of Nidoran and Nidoran and the second form of Nidorino and Nidorina. The number of Pokémon in Nido base has reached more than 1,200, making it the largest Pokémon breeding base in the Sands village. Each ninja of each team is equipped with 3 Nido Kings and 3 Nido Queens. Lala's ace Pokémon Nido Queen broke through LV61 a year ago and became the first elite Jonin Nido of several companies during this year. Many companies have had Nido King and Nido Queen break through to become elite Jonin. The group of wives, led by Lala, earned the nickname the 7 Wives of Nero. The main force of the 7 of they broke through to the elite Jonin and made the headlines of the Tomato Daily. Tomato Daily is a well-known clickbait. The name 7 Ladies of Nido comes from Tomato Daily. Lala is over 60 years old, but because of good maintenance, she looks like a young woman in her 40s. The other 6 young women are all in their 40s, and it is not difficult to see that they were all beauties when they were young. Driven by Tomato Daily, the 7 Ladies of Nido caused heated discussions in the ninja world. Many of these companies were already extremely controversial, and now they have been pushed to the forefront. Duofu once again received the envious gazes of many men. Duofu was also very sad. His wife Tuan had made a great name for herself, but none of his descendants were successful. Ever since he became one of the high-ranking members of Sunagakure, his descendants have become insignificant. Especially his son Duoze, who took the lead in being bad. His grandsons Duor and Duosan were deceived by a little fairy, and both of them sealed their hearts and no longer believed in love. The 2 of them spent their days in debauchery and became frequent visitors to the forest treehouse. Duofu had no idea how many times he had taught them a lesson, but the 2 just wouldn't change. Mud can't hold up the wall. Currently, among the 2nd and 3rd generations of many families, only Duoniufu can climb up the wall. He is the only ninja in the group that does not have a full lineup of Nido. Although you can quickly become stronger by training 6 Nidis with all your strength, they have too many limitations. She captured other elves. Her elves are LV62 Nido Queen, LV60 Nido King, LV55 Venusaur, LV54 Raiden, LV53 Sandslash. Duoni is the 3rd elite Jonin of the family after Duofu and Lala. Due to Doi's excellent talent, Duofu has been training Doi with all his strength so that Doi can inherit his position in the future. Duoni has a very clear plan for his life and replaces Duofu as the head of the family. Then, she can marry many male wives. As a filial daughter, she hopes Duofu can be buried as soon as possible and that he will interfere less in her life affairs. Duoniu also tried his best for his own happy life. Duofu has no idea what Duoniu is thinking because Duofu is a male chauvinist. Duoniu dare not show her feminism. Only Lala knows what Duoniu really thinks, but Lala supports Duoniu. The family motto of many families is to branch out and spread out, and Duoni's idea of marrying a bunch of male wives is in line with the family motto. The reason why Lala is so open-minded is that she once had the same fantasy. Lala helped Duoniu to hide Duofu's secret. Every time Duofu urged Duoniu to get married, Lala would come out to smooth things over. As many clans became the first elf family in Sand Village, other ninja clans rushed to imitate them. The Jia clan specializes in breeding Hippoman, the Zong clan specializes in breeding Boscadora, and the Lai clan, under Li Feng's wise leadership, the Lai clan became the base camp of Chao Chuni. Of course, the knowledgeable people of the Lai clan raised the banner of resistance against Li Feng, but were severely punished by Li Feng. It is said that half of the Lizi clan's territory was flooded, leaving no place to step. Fortunately, the stinky muds were powerful and digested all the indescribable excrement. The Lai family ninjas have recognized the reality and have each of them got a piece of stinky mud in their hands. Because they carry a stinky mud, they can guard against the clan leader's underworld escape technique. As the founder of a new school, Li Feng is indeed talented in some aspects. The secrets of cultivating stinky mud created by Li Feng has a significant effect on improving the stinky mud. The Lai clan has completely lived up to the reputation of the stinky mud family. The other small ninjas also chose a Pokémon to cultivate with all their strength. However, among so many ninja clans in Sunagakure, only many of them have achieved success so far. There are currently only 3 elf families in the entire ninja world. The Kamasuryu family of Iwagakure also made a name for themselves as the elf family. The Beedrill of the Upper Water Ryu has become a Jonin-level Pokémon, and there are more and more Chunins in the Beedrill army. Kamasuryu Hoichi became the new patriarch of the Kamasuryu clan, and is a talented trainer of this generation of Iwagakure. Shangshu Liupi is a genius bug-type researcher who has developed potions for various bug-type Pokémon. Under Inoki's financial offensive, Tomato Daily opened a special chapter to introduce the Kamasuryu family. Tomato Daily calls the Upper Water Stream family the Bug family, and its representative Pokémon include Beedrill, Venomous Moth, Paraster, Mormoth, Alidus, and Ancient Dragonfly. This is, of course, an exaggeration because Inoki spent a lot of money. Tomato Daily praised it so much. The one who really made a great contribution to the Upper Water Stream clan is Beedrill, so more people call it the Beedrill family. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.